So here then, full commentary, by no means though a full Stamford Bridge. It's Chelsea, it's Manchester United, and David Pleat and Alan Green, the commentary team. Just one to you, David. Interesting that Manchester United are so short of central defenders, aren't they? They've got a very callow central defence there.
Well, got a young defence tonight. I saw young Michael Keane play at Tottenham on Saturday in the under-21s. Alex Ferguson, keen as ever, was watching the game. The boy played very well. Scott Wharton is highly rated, but you know, when you look at United's centre-backs, they have Evans, they have Smalling, they have Vidic, they have Ferdinand. Carrick plays there, Jones. So in effect tonight you're probably looking at number 7 and number 8, and it just shows you the depth of squad that some of these biggest Premier League clubs are carrying.
Here we go then, Manchester United again visiting Stamford Bridge. Let's hope this time we're just talking about a wonderful game of football and nothing else. Alan Green.
We hope. Manchester United have made 10 changes. The only player to retain his place from Sunday's Premier League game is Raphael at right back. The goalkeeper tonight is Lindegaard. The defence, Raphael, Wooden, Keane and Butner. In midfield, Nani, Anderson, Fletcher and Giggs. Then Hernandez and Welbeck. Chelsea's goalkeeper is their captain, Cech. He's one of 5 Chelsea players who played on Sunday, who started the game against Manchester United. The defence, Azpilicueta, Luis, Cahill and Bertrand. Then in midfield, Romeo and Mikel. Then Piazon, Mata and Moses, and finally Sturridge. So Chelsea, as has been their way, certainly since the Mourinho days, David, they're taking the League Cup seriously.
Well, they certainly got the majority of the squad that played in the last game here when they beat Wolves 6-0 in this competition. Yes, I would think that if you look at both teams, certainly Di Matteo is hoping to progress in this competition, where I would suggest, although Alex's boys might prove us very wrong tonight, I would think he is taking it slightly less seriously.
Fernando Torres is one of 3 Chelsea players suspended tonight. He's looking suitably glum, sitting in the stands. Most of the empty seats that were evident a couple of minutes ago are rapidly filling up. There should be in attendance over 40,000, and many of them are children who've got reduced prices because it's Halloween, and some of them are dressed up. And there is a Grim Reaper in the crowd, by the way. I'm sure he's a plant by Chelsea and not any referee trying to discreetly enter the ground. Chelsea in the blue shirts, blue shorts and white socks will kick off. They're attacking the old shed end of Stamford Bridge. The referee tonight is Lee Mason, and let's hope that he has an easier job than Mark Clattenburg ended up with on Sunday. The ball immediately fed back by Chelsea to Fedor Cech. Cech's clearance wasn't a great one, but it reaches the halfway line, and the young Brazilian Piazon doesn't control it though, and Manchester United have it with Nani, who's almost become an afterthought in terms of the Manchester United starting 11. And then he loses it, the ball's played forward straight out of play on the near side of the field. Nani will not sign a new contract, it seems, that doesn't give him a lot more money. So well, Alex is basically saying, well, then you're going to have very few first-team opportunities.
Yes, well, he has a greater competition now. He's done enough at United, of course, to attract opposition from abroad. But Ashley Young now back. Valencia, a very thrusting wide right player. And in recent weeks, of course, Alex hasn't played with wide players in a couple of games. He's played with a diamond formation and has left his wingers out. So, yeah, Nani looks as though he's one that's going to have to make a very quick, big impression to change Alex's mind.
Remember, these Capital One ties will be settled on the night. The ball is squirted forward in the direction of the Mexican Hernandez, but it's too far ahead of him. Reaches Cech, and now it's with Cahill on the far side of the field. Both Chelsea's central defenders retain. I'm talking about players, you know, out in the cold. Ferreira, who used to be a regular starter, he can't even make the League Cup side. He's on the bench. Nani with a throw-in for Manchester United to Raphael, and then Fletcher to Nani. Nani just keeps it in play, a yard into the right touchline. Manchester United moving forward towards the Matthew Harding stand, then Nani falls over, he wasn't fouled. Lee Mason was in a good position to see if there was any infringement. There wasn't. And now it's fed towards the right side by Victor Moses, and an early cross played into the Manchester United penalty area, deep, too deep for a young Piazon, and the ball's out of play for a throw into United.
Yeah, quite a good raid there by the Spanish fullback for Chelsea. I'm going to let Alan pronounce his name in the early stages of the game. That's right, Alan, you did it right.
Well, I've been practicing for about 6 weeks. Trust me, when I first saw his name in the squad list, I thought, oh no.
Azpilicueta.
Something like that. Here's Anderson, the Brazilian from Manchester United. Back to Nani, the Portuguese. Nani a yard outside the Chelsea penalty, surrounded by blue shirts, taps it back to Anderson, and now it's with Rafael. Rafael to Anderson once more. Anderson was pretty much a regular no more than a season and a half ago. Not so now. Nani plays a 1-2. Nani approaching the penalty area, tackled, beaten by Luiz, and then there's a mistake by Romeo. Giggs, the captain for Manchester United tonight, can't find Hernandez. I wondered if the flag would have gone up for an offside against Hernandez had he picked up possession,
Quite a strong
as he should have done on Sunday.
It's quite a strong threesome, the United midfield. Giggs slightly ahead of Fletcher and Anderson. Anderson, who scored a wonderful goal in the last round. He'll want to make an impression today. He's on the ball at this moment, going over the centre circle.
Yes, Chelsea beat Wolves 6-0 in the home game. Manchester United disposed of Newcastle United 2-1. Luiz, as is his way, over the halfway line. He's already midway inside the United half. He shoots left-footed, wastefully, high and wide.
Yeah, a real wild shot after a buccaneering run. A typical run by Luiz. Seems to have managed to force himself into the regular reckoning here. He's played almost every game this season at centre-back, whether it's with Cahill or Terry.
He does need a Cahill or a Terry alongside him there.
Yes, well, he takes chances. He's a bit of a wild Indian playing from that position. He does go forward, and at times when he loses possession, of course, he can be a liability. But people know that within the team, and of course they cover for him when he makes those runs. And I have to say, Alan, it's one of the things that's lacking in the English game, a centre-back coming forward in possession with the ball, overloading in the centre of the midfield. 4
minutes played here at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. You're listening to 5 Live, coverage of the Capital One Cup. At stake, a place in the quarter-finals. Already through Arsenal dramatically last night with that 7-5 win at Reading after extra time. Aston Villa, Leeds, Middlesbrough and Bradford City. The other games tonight, Liverpool against Swansea, that's an 8 o'clock kickoff. There's commentary on 5 Live Sports Extra. And Norwich against Spurs, which kicked off like this one at 7:45. And Alistair Bruce-Ball, who suffered a surfeit of goals last night at Reading, is watching that one for us. Here's Fletcher. And Fletcher curls the ball towards the right side. Raphael keeps in play, and then he played it off. Piazon out for a throw-in. What's the assistant's decision? It's a throw-in. Manchester United were appealing for a free kick for some reason. Anyway, the throw-in's taken by Raphael to Anderson. Back to Raphael, and now Fletcher. Terrible from Fletcher, giving the ball away to Daniel Sturridge. Sturridge is matted to his left, can't find the Spaniard. Should have done.
Yeah, good interception by Keane there, but Sturridge picked the wrong option. It was an awful pass by Fletcher, passing into the centre of the field, and Sturridge read it. Fletcher looking a little bit rusty, he almost gives the ball away again. But United have started all right, I have to say. The centre-backs haven't been troubled yet, the young 2 centre-backs.
I think a fully fit Fletcher will make his way into the regular starting 11 for United. But here's Moses for Chelsea to Azpilicueta, the right full-back, and tap back to Romeo. Mikel, rather surprise choice tonight, as is Mata. Mata onto Bertrand on the near side. Ashley Cole's got an injury problem, not too severe, but enough to keep him out of the action tonight. Back it goes to Mata. Mata's tackled by Anderson. Anderson into Nani for Manchester United. And now Fletcher. Fletcher has a run from the Dutch full-back on the far side, Butner. He picks out the player, Butner, just short of the halfway line. Taps it to Welbeck, who started on the left of a 5-man midfield. Hernandez is the only one properly up front for Manchester United so far, but they started brightly, United. It's fed to the right side, towards Anderson. Hernandez runs forward, but the ball is square. The pass is square to Giggs. Giggs, glorious ball to the far side of the field, and Butner, left over the edge of the Chelsea penalty area. Tried to take on Moses, couldn't beat Moses. Moses finds Mata and is tapped towards Moses again. Over the halfway line, promising for Chelsea. Sturridge is running through the middle, straight in towards Sturridge. Great ball! Sturridge trips over the ball and is behind for a goal kick.
Well, fabulous play by Victor Moses there, playing the 1-2 in a deep area, making good ground down that left-hand side. He was approached by Wootton, but he played the ball beautifully, curved it round the other centre-back, Keane, And unfortunately for Chelsea, Sturridge just lost his footing, seemed to trip on the ball as he took it with his left foot, and a great chance was gone. But super play by Victor Moses from the wide right position.
Glorious pass. Sturridge unable to capitalise. 7.5 minutes played at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. Manchester United were already a goal up in the Barclays Premier League game on Sunday at this stage. An own goal by Luis. Thrown on the far side to Chelsea. Has Piliquete to take it, and he launches it towards Sturridge on the halfway line, headed back by Manchester United, but here's Sturridge again. Cushioned header to Mata. Mata with Piazon running ahead of him, but it's fed towards the left side to Bertrand. Bertrand, left of the Manchester United penalty here. Deep cross, too deep for Moses. Moses tries to bring it down under control, can't do so, and it's run away to safety for Manchester United. Anderson to Nani. Nani over the halfway line. Good tackle coming in from Bertrand. And then Welbeck helps out. Nani, Welbeck's fouled there surely by Mikel, and that's a free kick.
And you know, Alan, I think that's almost the first free kick of the game. It's been a very, after you, Claude, polite opening.
Talking about people being polite. Guess who I saw at the airport this morning?
I don't know, there's a lot of people in the world.
I don't. Lee Mason.
Lee Mason, okay.
He took me by surprise.
I suppose he asked you how you were getting on and everything. He knows you well.
He just said good morning, and I thought, there's pressure already on me. How can I criticise Lee tonight? Listen, if he gets something wrong, I'll criticise him. No, he's a nice man.
He's not on your flight back, don't worry.
I'll make sure of it. Still 0-0 at Stamford Bridge. Nearly 9 minutes played. Keane moves forward for Manchester United from centre of defence. Finds Anderson. Anderson cuts in field. Taps it back to Giggs. Giggs to Welbeck. And on to the near side with Nani. A coming Chelsea fan obscures our view for the moment as Raphael tries to cross the ball. It hits the shins of Mikel and goes out for a throw into Manchester United.
Well, both sides will appreciate the atmosphere tonight because the ground has filled considerably. It's full. And the lovely wet pitch makes it good for passing.
From the throw-in, Raphael plays the cross in towards the near post. It was intercepted by Luis, and Luis snaps the clearance upfield, where it's won in the air by Michael Keane, but his header ran to Moses. Moses couldn't bring the ball under proper control, and Manchester United have it back.
Calm play by Keane there, robbing the Chelsea forward.
Butner forward down the left side, a la Evra. He's more than halfway inside the Chelsea half. Finds Welbeck. Terrible ball back by Welbeck, putting the Dutch full-back under pressure, and it's out of play for a throw into Chelsea.
Careless pass by Welbeck, playing on that left-hand side. Hernandez up the middle, Nani on the right. Threesome when they're attacking, and of course it becomes basically a 4-5-1 when Chelsea have possession coming into the middle third.
But they players bursting forward, Manchester United, like Welbeck, like Nani on this near side, who will certainly get forward to bolster Hernandez in terms of attacking play. United have started arguably the better, though that was a great ball in from Moses that Sturridge failed to bring under control. Here's Mata. Mata to Luis. Luis over the halfway line. It's like a recurring take. Luis plays it forward, but ahead of Bertrand, and it runs through to Lindegaard. The other 7:45 kickoff is at Carrow Road, Norwich and Tottenham. Alistair Bruce Ball.
Exactly 10 minutes played, Alan. Nothing to get us out of our seats just yet. Norwich 0, Tottenham 0. Clint Dempsey's had a header wide for Tottenham. Norwich, I'm watching it with Dean Ashton, former Norwich striker, of course. What do you make of them so far, Dean?
You know, they've set up quite defensively. Obviously, they've got one man up front with one in behind in Butterfield, and they haven't really got going yet. Tottenham are happy to keep the ball, but I think the main thing for Norwich is they've kept Gareth Bale quiet. I don't think he's touched the ball yet.
He just tried to get a touch there and couldn't manage it. Tottenham have won their first corner. Norwich 0, Tottenham 0.
Thank you very much. The first yellow card of the evening is for Romeo for tripping Butner, and Lee Mason had no hesitation whatsoever in yellow carding him.
Yeah, Butner was thrusting diagonally from left towards the centre, about 30 yards outside of the 18-yard box, but Romelu just caught him, and first yellow card, the first sign of Mr. Mason's authority.
Well, let's hope he doesn't have to flourish too many, particularly if it's a second to the same player. We'll be bringing you news in just a moment from Ibrox in the Scottish League Cup quarter-final, but this Manchester United free kick, tapped by Giggs to Butner, back to Giggs. Giggs, 35 yards from goal. Awkward ball forward to Welbeck, and it's cleared out. The referee spotted something there. Was Mikel's foot high?
I would think that could be the only reason.
Wow, well, this is a better position for a free kick for Manchester United. It's a little bit closer to goal. It's arguably within shooting range. Giggs is standing over the ball. Roddy Forsyth standing by. We're coming to Roddy in a moment. But this free kick to be taken by Anderson. Or is it Nani? Sorry. It's central. It's still at least 30 yards from goal, but it's within the Portuguese range. Under 13 minutes gone here at Stamford Bridge. And Chelsea have got everybody back defending the free kick. Here it comes. Right-footed low. Well caught by Cech. Straight to Roddy at Ibrox.
Thank you. I thought there you were just about to come to me as Billy Mackay, former Rangers player, might have scored. Instead, Neil Alexander pushed the ball wide for a corner kick. You won't take it amiss if I say that the third division team are doing not badly in this game, but it's still scoreless.
Thanks very much, Roddy. We'll keep across you. And the other quarter-final in the Scottish League Cup tonight is Dundee United against Hearts. It's 1-1 at the moment at Tannadice. Here's Mikel for Chelsea. To the far side in Azpilicueta. Mikel again. Mata runs forward down the inside right channel. He's ignored. The pass goes to Sturridge again. Now Victor Moses, who started brightly for Chelsea. Sturridge back to Mata. Somewhat a surprise inclusion, I would have thought, in the starting 11, but it just shows you how Roberto Di Matteo's taking this seriously. Mikel forward towards Mata. Sorry, David. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, he's kept one of his schemers in. I mean, he's got Oscar, Hazard and Mata, who rotate round the front, usually round of Torres, and they interchange, and they can be bewilderingly clever and difficult to mark. But tonight he's just decided to keep Mata, give Oscar, the youngest of the three, a rest, and also Hazard.
They're on the bench though, and they could be brought on if necessary. Still Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0. Almost a quarter of an hour gone here at Stamford Bridge in the Capital One Cup. Azpilicueta onto Moses down the right side. Moses taps it past Welbeck, gets into the penalty here. He must have given the England striker a bit of a nudge there, and it's spotted by the assistant, or if not the assistant, then Lee Mason. Lee Mason's done well. See, I'm praising him already.
Yeah, he was in a good
free kick.
He was in a good position there. Was Welbeck, and well, I think probably the referee was correct. Moses just had his arm on the full-back.
From the free kick, Raphael for Manchester United, down this near touchline there right in the first half. Benani, back to Raphael, quickly forward, good work by Anderson. Anderson into Giggs, promising here for Manchester United, onto Welbeck, a yard outside the penalty, onto his right foot, the shot was bumbling along, awkwardly for Cech. Cech caught it well though, and immediately feeds it out to Mikel.
First bit of really exciting play. Very clever play by Anderson, a clever flick which gave Giggs the chance to spread the ball to Welbeck. Welbeck came in with a slightly tame shot. Petr Cech fielded it quite well.
Piazzon's pass slightly overhit. Bertrand couldn't keep it in place, so it's going to be a throw-in to Manchester United. David, I know you see a lot of the young players because you make it your business. Have you seen Piazzon?
Yes, I've seen Piazzon 3 times this season. I do quite a lot of watching of the under-21 football. He's an outside left. Don't forget, Alan, he was bought for £8 million from Brazil. So he's not as though he's a real baby. But of course he's going to get few chances at Chelsea unless he plays dramatically well. But he's an outside left really, and he gets forward. He's very much a left-footed player, but he's a beautiful mover once he gets in his stride. I've just noticed it once or twice when things start going against him, he just turns the other cheek a little bit and loses a slight interest in the game. He'll be looking for a big one from him tonight. He played against Wolves in the previous game.
Butner, who could well be Manchester United's starting left back pretty soon, given the indifferent form of Evra, plays it down the left side, but straight into Chelsea's possession. Here's Luiz. Luiz taps the pass to the left to Bertrand, and in now it goes to Sturridge, getting a rare opportunity. Sturridge to start. Most of the time Roberto Di Matteo just as the one striker in the Chelsea team, and that's Torres with the fluent 3 behind him of Mata, Hazard, and whoever the other one is. Here's ball played in by Piazzon. Piazzon's pass hits. I think Mata goes out of play. No, it must have been a United defender because it's going to be a throw into Chelsea. Bertrand takes it to Mata. Mata coaxes the cross in slightly too high for Sturridge. Butner's across there, and just make sure the ball is shepherded behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, lovely word that, Alan, you're right. He just coaxes it in. He just kind of glides the ball, the side of the ball, and just drifts the ball into that, towards that 6-yard box. Seems to put no power behind the ball. He's got this beautiful technique.
Lovely player, and he was marvellous at White Hart Lane when we saw him recently in that 4-2 victory that Chelsea had against Tottenham. Oh, that ball's given away by Butner. Unfortunately for Chelsea, Moses couldn't control it when he really should have done. Then United, having taken the ball off Victor Moses, give it away. A bit scrappy, some of the play.
Well, lacking shots, Alan. It's one of those things that you know, it's like a game of chess early on. Both teams finding each other out because they know the first goal is so important, and therefore it's so important not to concede the first goal. And it creates a little bit of caution at times. Whereas I think maybe years ago there was a greater tempo to the early start of the game where you felt you had to get the first goal.
Oh, it's a lovely touch on by Sturridge to Moses. Moses' feet got to the ball first in the penalty area, and then he's going to fall over. And as he fell over, he accidentally handled the ball, and it's a free kick to Manchester United.
Yeah, and 5,000 United supporters behind that goal agreed with that decision. Quite clearly handled the ball in the shed end to our left as we look. So far, Lindegaard had nothing to really say. It was just that fine ball that might have been a goal chance for Sturridge where he fell. Fine ball delivered by Moses. But apart from that, Chelsea, no goalmouth possibilities for United to worry about.
Chelsea with a throw-in, deep inside their own half. Goodness, that was a risky ball played in by Bertrand. But Luis clears it, and it's an excellent pass from the Brazilian centre-back to Azpilicueta on the far side of the field. On to Mata. Mata running through the centre circle now, towards the halfway line. Leaves it from Mikel. Mikel running away from Giggs and just plays the ball securely to Azpilicueta, up level with the edge of the United penalty area. Low cross in, not a great clearance from Manchester United. Sturridge over elaborate and trying to coax the ball back. Now a shot is played in by Romeo, but it's well wide of goal.
Yeah, poor shot by Romeo. I keep looking on this left side. Piazon keeps drifting in field. He's wanting to make space for Bertrand coming on towards this left touchline, this left byline. And as a consequence, every time Mata looks up to give the ball to Piazon, he's running into the block, leaving the space for Bertrand, and consequently they can't get the young Brazilian on the ball.
So there's no score so far in the Capital One games being played tonight. 0-0 here, 0-0 at Carrow Road, and it's just started at Liverpool. Liverpool against Swansea. Commentary on that game on 5 Live Sports Extra. Here's Raphael leaving the ball for Nani, halfway inside the Chelsea half, tapped towards Anderson. Anderson got there before Luis when you'd have made the Brazilian favourite. Didn't get there. Raphael trying to play a 1-2 with Nani. Not properly cleared by Chelsea. Nani again, fouled by Romeo. He's already been booked.
What United have is one or two clever players on the ball. People like Nani, Anderson. Giggs is very clever at enticing the challenge. And it was a fair free kick that he won there, Nani, just inviting the tackle. And Mr. Mason on the spot correctly gives the free kick. And another opportunity, possibly. Last time Chelsea had a 3-man maul. They managed to get the shot through, but it was comfortably saved by the goalkeeper.
So a promising position for a free kick for Manchester United. Again, it's over 30 yards from goal, but that won't put off Nani. Giggs is there too. So too is Butner. It's tapped for the fullback. Butner's shot was a yard wide, and I think he'd had it covered.
Well, it went with some force, and it went low. He kept his shot low, but it just veered past that left-hand post of...
Oh, it's a mistake, the ball's given away. Here's Giggs in the penalty. Giggs shoots Manchester United in front. Dreadful defending by Chelsea. Absolutely appalling. How on earth they got themselves into that mess? It was between Cech and Mikel, who are arguing amongst themselves at the moment. Oh, dear. But Giggs punished them severely.
Well, when it did come to Giggs and you thought, what's he going to do? And he just took it on coolly and rolled it. In fact, it was a poor ball by Cech because he was quickly robbed. I think Anderson did very well. He was the first one to react to Romelu. He played it out far too straight. The player was square on when he took the ball. Anderson robbed him, and then Giggs rolled it in. It was Romeo who got robbed.
Yeah, and it was essentially poor goalkeeping.
He shouldn't have
from
played the
Petr Cech.
ball to him there. He had his...
Too many United players in the vicinity.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a straight ball too. The player needed to take the ball on the half turn and just sweep the ball forward.
So they do as they did on Sunday in a different competition. Manchester United have the lead here at Stamford Bridge. Mikel moving towards the far side. Leaves it for Azpilicueta. Now it's taken up and the ball's out of play, squirted out of play for a throw-in to Chelsea. Midway through the first half, Chelsea 0, Manchester United 1. Giggs with an unexpected opportunity. Chelsea try to respond here. No foul on Piazon, according to Lee Mason, who was nearby. And naturally, in the circumstances with Chelsea a goal down, the fans go berserk about that.
Well, they had a little bit of a case there, but I also think Mr. Mason was correct.
Well, substitute Lee Mason for Mark Clattenburg. I mean, goodness, the Chelsea fans won't take much to get them going tonight. Raphael gives the ball away, and now here's Luiz tapping it back to Cech, who this time belts it upfield, as perhaps he should have done with the goal kick. It's all right playing the goal kick short if the defender has nobody near him.
Well, you need to play it at an angle too, so the player can see the field. You know, he had his basically his back to play. It was a silly ball to play.
23.5 minutes gone here at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 1. If there's a break in play, David, I'll get to discuss it, but I want to draw your attention to a new category of statistics in the Chelsea programme. It's entitled Abused. 2012-2013. Chelsea on the attack. It breaks down. Raphael clears. Not a great clearance, but Nani helps out. Nani backheels the ball to Fletcher, and Fletcher forward now to Welbeck. Welbeck's fouled by Mikel. That could be a yellow card. It is a yellow card.
Now Anderson, Welbeck took that ball beautifully on the half turn. Mikel came in too quick. He felled Welbeck. Mason has no alternative. A yellow card again. And things seem to be going against Chelsea, but once again, I would support the referee there.
Absolutely right.
Mikel is suggesting that Welbeck die. He took it very cleverly, Welbeck. He took it on the half turn, floating in from his wide left position. Indeed, at the moment, Welbeck's well inside. He's central as he takes this ball.
He's tackled by Romeo, but it breaks to Anderson. Anderson to Nani down the right side. Nani, rarely for him, miscontrols it. Piazon moving away from Nani, running towards the halfway line. That's a good ball into Mata. Mata couldn't collect it, but Azpilicueta can help out. Taps it on. Victor Moses on the far side. Chelsea right. Piazon's in the penalty area. The ball was behind the Brazilian. It's intercepted by Fletcher for United and cleared up to Hernandez, short of the halfway line. He gives it away to Moses. Moses then blocked by Giggs, and of course the crowd roar, wanting Lee Mason the yellow card, Ryan Giggs.
Now, once again, Mason absolutely correct with the decision. It was a foul because he just ran into Moses and just blocked him off. But he hasn't given the yellow card, I don't think.
No, he hasn't. No.
He could well have done, because I thought it was somewhat cynical.
20 minutes to half-time, 2 Chelsea players have been booked, and that, you know, the 2 holding midfield players, they could be in trouble. Their team's in trouble, trailing 1-0 here in the Capital One Cup at Stamford Bridge, but they got this free kick. Now it's towards the far side, the Chelsea right, and it'll be driven in by Juan Matas. Left foot, good ball in. Oh, I think it was a Chelsea head that met the ball, Cahill, but he couldn't direct it goalwards, and it's cleared by United up over the halfway line, where it's met by Bertrand. Bertrand to Luiz, had gone up for that free kick. And now Romeo, one of the 2 Chelsea players who've been booked. Mikel's the other one. He has the ball now. On to Bertrand. Piazon down the left side. Back to Bertrand. And Bertrand looking for the run of Mikel. Mikel takes it on his chest, playing it back to Bertrand, intercepted by Fletcher, and it squirts away towards the halfway line. But Romeo gets there before Hernandez.
Chelsea having a little bit more of the possession now in the middle third of the field, passing the ball around. I think Sir Alex been more than pleased with the first 25 minutes or so of his 2 young centre-halves. They've done well, not been in trouble at all, and played very sensibly.
Moses to Azpilicueta on the right side, sorry David, but he overhits the cross and it's behind for a goal kick. Let's get the latest news from Carrow Road. Alistair Bruce-Ball.
25 minutes in here, Alan. Norwich 0, Tottenham 0. Norwich just enjoying a little period of pressure at the moment. A corner swung into the Tottenham box, back post, and Morrison heads it straight at Hugo Lloris. Dean Ashton watching the game with me. Just before that, Clint Dempsey had a really good chance for Tottenham. Dean, should he have scored?
He should. I mean, he was just got in front of him, and it was a great bit of work from Bale, who cut him from the right-hand side, who's got a bit more joy over this right-hand side, and Dempsey perhaps should have done better, but it's just coming into life, this game, and it just needs a goal to liven it up.
Norwich 0, Tottenham 0.
Remember, any game tonight in the Capital One Cup, game tonight in the Capital One Cup that is level after 90 minutes will go to extra time. We'll go for an update at Liverpool in a moment, but there's been a goal at Ibrox in the Scottish League Cup quarter-final. Roddy.
Yes, indeed, and it was Andrew Shinnie 1-1 with Graham Alexander. He got in behind the Rangers defence, made no mistake. Ibrox has gone quiet. It's Rangers 0, Inverness Caley Thistle 1.
Thank you very much, Roddy. And now to Connor at Anfield.
Liverpool 0, Swansea 0. Liverpool have enjoyed most of the possession so far. They're trying to squeeze the ball up to Samid Yesil, the young German who's playing as the spearhead striker. He's had one half chance in the penalty area, couldn't do much more with it than that. Michu playing very much up front on his own for Swansea, and the jury's still out on Jordan Henderson as a right back, but that's where he's playing tonight. Liverpool 0, Swansea 0.
Beautiful work by Welbeck down the left side for Manchester United, finding Fletcher onto Giggs, Fletcher to Welbeck. Excellent football from the visitors, and then Welbeck's a little unfortunate. He couldn't quite bring the ball under control by the touchline, and it's out for a throw-in.
Yeah, lovely play by Fletcher, the deepest of the three-man midfield. Giggs and Anderson either side of him, and that's working quite well for United at the moment, protecting the two young centre-halves. Hernandez still the main lone front striker. Nani on the right, Welbeck on the left, but United are working comfortably.
28 minutes played, Chelsea 0, Manchester United 1. I'm talking about stats. Phil Wire, our producer, has just handed me one. He says the fourth time in 8 home games that Chelsea have conceded the first goal this season. Have you worked out what abused is about?
No, you're going to tell me though, Alan, aren't you?
Yes, very shortly. Here's
Piazon
Piazon down the left side, Piazon into Mata in the penalty area, and then the interception made by Fletcher, and Manchester United clear it upfield. Out of play.
One thing I did spot in the programme today under Mr Mason, where in the olden days they used to put Mr Mason from Solihull or wherever he was from. Nowadays they don't put the area where the referee is from, but what they put in, which I think is wrong, how many yellow cards, how many games, how many red cards, and how many suspensions. I think
totally agree. The abuse thing, by the way, is they list the Chelsea players.
Yes.
If opponents have been booked or sent off playing against them. So Ramirez is fouled, a yellow card for the opponent, and they list those stats. Can you believe it?
I'm not. Yes,
no, you're not quite with it.
You might have with it, but what's the purpose of it?
I cannot think of any purpose.
To suggest that which Chelsea player induces the most.
He's being targeted. Ramirez is leading the way at the moment, or he was on Sunday.
Yeah, well, you know my view on stats. I think they
totally. But that was very good from Phil Y.
Oh, excellent.
That was relevant.
Phil's on top of it.
Chelsea not on top of the game, trailing 1-0. Half an hour played at Stamford Bridge. Sturridge finds Moses on the far side. Moses almost crossed. Oh, that's a penalty. Yes, it is. Rash challenge by Butner. Moses was beyond him, and Lee Mason, absolutely no doubt, points to the spot.
Well, Moses showed Butner what he was going to do. He faced him on. He went with the outside of his right foot to take it round him. Butner never got the ball. He certainly took Moses' legs, and he would have been better off to try and just usher him away, or not to make the challenge there. But it was clumsy to say the least, and it was an absolute stone banker penalty. Once again, Mr Mason spot on.
And David Luiz will take the penalty kick for Chelsea. This to bring them level after 31 minutes in this Capital One tie at Stamford Bridge. Lee Mason trying to make sure that everybody who should be out of the penalty area is out of the penalty area. Rafael standing beside his fellow Brazilian Luiz. I wonder if he's having a word. Luiz comes forward, drives it in. Lindegaard went the right way, but it was such a powerfully struck penalty kick rather, that it couldn't fail. And it's 1-1.
Well, they attacked the ball with some pace, did David Luiz. To the goalkeeper's right, and the pure pace of the ball beat Lindegaard. He had no chance with it. It was a really fast effort. Right in step, right into the corner. Lindegaard made a great effort, but the pace beat him, and there's no question about it. Clear penalty.
Now, a smoke bomb appears to have been thrown onto the pitch. I mean, what is going on?
Maybe it was that.
That's into the Manchester United penalty area. But the play is stopped, and Jonathan Overend can bring us up to date with the tennis.
And a result and a win for Andy Murray, his opening match here at the Paris Masters, his penultimate tournament of the season, beating Paul-Henri Mathieu straight set 7-5, 6-3, double break in that second set. Not his finest performance from Andy Murray, but a very solid start to this tournament.
Thanks very much, Jonathan. I can't be certain, but that had to be thrown by a Manchester United fan, because it's at the shed end of the stadium where the United fans have got all the seats tonight. And it was thrown into the United penalty area. Anyway, it's 1-1. Let's hope that's the last piece of nonsense this evening. It was definitely a penalty kick.
Halloween, isn't it?
No excuse, is it?
No, I was just thinking we saw the Grim Reaper, didn't we, before?
We saw that.
I just wondered if he bought some
hope not.
bits and pieces with him.
But that was a rash challenge by Buckner. There's absolutely no question Lee Mason made the right decision. Romeo to Mata. Mata's return pass not great, but Chelsea had the ball as Giggs, who scored the United goal, gives it away. And here's Mata again, driving it towards the left side, towards Bertrand. We've got 12 minutes to go to half-time here on 5 Live. No score at Norwich, no score at Anfield, but it's 1-1 here at Stamford Bridge, all in the Capital One Cup.
When you look at Mikel and the tackles, I just see him there with Rafael, and he's a strong player, Mikel. He's having a good season, there's no question about that. They are really trying to get at Mikel, trying to make sure that he's in a position to make tackles. He's a strong player, he's had a good season. But remember, just watch this attack.
Mikel playing the ball forward carefully, finds Sturridge, the angle far too acute. This should have goal. What was he thinking about, Sturridge?
Dreadful. Dreadful. On the byline, just took a fierce left foot wild kick at it instead of trying to play the ball across the towards the penalty spot. It was a very, very poor play. I was just saying, if you remember when Obi Mikel first came to this country, all the controversy, the two clubs involved were Manchester United and Chelsea.
Yes. Absolutely. Now, where's the ball gone? Presumably into the United fans behind the goal to our left. And now our fans come onto the pitch. And this is stupid. I don't care if it's Halloween, Guy Fawkes, Christmas Day, all rolled into one. How stupid is that? And he's going to be caught, surely. He's fallen over, he's gone back into the crowd, but they can identify him. Surely they can get him. It's absolutely ludicrous.
And the crowd, the disappointing thing is the crowd at that end takes some delight in the fact that he got back into those seats before the stewards could catch him. So unfortunately we are...
Do you know, the game's right on the edge at the moment, right on the edge. And there was a notice in the programme tonight asking fans of both sides to behave.
Yeah, well, there's warnings in the programme. In every league club's programme there is warnings about crowd behaviour and the responsibilities for that behaviour, and very disappointing. I'm afraid it's still a beautiful game, but we are attracting a moronic minority, and the hope is that it's not increasing.
Well, what was particularly sad about that, I'll talk about it in a moment. Nani runs forward for Manchester United, but he's immediately submerged under a group of Chelsea players, and the clearance to the halfway line. What was annoying was, you can say it was one idiot, but when he gets back into the crowd, they're all cheering him as if it's something to be lauded.
Yeah.
Moses for Chelsea over the halfway line, beyond the centre circle, almost tripped there by Welbeck. Moses kept his footing. And now it's with Mata. Mata crosses it into the penalty area. Careful header away by Wooten. It runs to Mikel. By the way, Gary Cahill, I'm told, is Chelsea's oldest outfield player tonight at 26. Average age of this Chelsea 11 is 23. But on paper they look stronger than Manchester United. They haven't proved stronger than United.
I think since the goal they've certainly begun to take more possession in the United half. We're looking to Fletcher, Giggs and Anderson, the midfield trio, to get hold of the ball, all of course respected internationals. But at the moment Chelsea just beginning to push themselves back into the game. Moses is a danger, particularly having won the penalty, having made that fine cross early on. He's got that pace. Strangely enough, I thought that Marin, the little winger from Germany,
was going to play.
Yeah, was going to play.
On the bench.
He's on the bench, and he hasn't been fit too much since he's been here. I have seen him play once in the reserve side, but I would love to see him come onto the field. I'm not sure if Moses is going to get too many opportunities at Chelsea.
Welbeck drives the ball forward, hoping to find Giggs. Instead, it comes back off Romeo to Welbeck, and he finds Rafael. On to Nani. Rafael, 25 yards inside the Chelsea half. Nani once more. Anderson's available. It's tapped to the Brazilian, who looks like he's carrying a little bit of weight. Fletcher now to the far side, and Butner errant in terms of the concession of the penalty. Definitely a penalty kick. Now Fletcher takes it up again. Fletcher inside left channel. 1-2 with Giggs. Giggs' return pass wasn't really strong enough, and it's lashed out of play by Chelsea for a throw-in.
Two good professionals there, Giggs and Fletcher, with respect between the two of them. Giggs acknowledging to Fletcher that the return ball wasn't quite good enough. Good camaraderie amongst the more senior players at
Here's
United.
Welbeck from Giggs' pass, and Welbeck's shot was a little bit under hit and trundled along the ground and was easily caught, gathered by Petr Cech. Who was at fault for the Manchester United goal? Ridiculous goal kick taken, putting Romeo under intense pressure, robbed by Anderson, who fed Giggs, and Giggs scored. Here's Mata for Chelsea, who have equalised with a penalty kick scored emphatically by Luiz. Mata to the far side, and Azpilicueta.
Lovely,
have you got that pronunciation?
Lovely
Yeah.
balance. Oh, beautiful pronunciation. Lovely balance of Mata, the way he changes direction. He shields the ball so well. When the ball comes in from the left, he can just spin out and play to the right, or let it run across his body. Makes his passes so easily because it's his body position in the first place which makes it so comfortable for him to address that ball to make the pass.
That was strong by Nani to hold off Romeo, and Hernandez takes it up, and Romeo may have thought of bringing him down, wisely didn't, or else he'd be off the pitch, having been sent off for a second yellow card. Welbeck for Manchester United, who've recovered well since Chelsea equalised with a penalty kick. Anderson forward to the edge of the penalty to Nani. Nani's touch not strong enough, and here's Piazon, and the referee is spotted a foul by Nani, awards a free kick to Chelsea.
Yeah, Nani too intricate there, trying to walk the ball through the eye of a needle. Sometimes you've got to play the simple ball instead of trying to deceive players by playing it through the narrowest of gaps.
Good 40-yard crossfield pass by Mata to Azpilicueta, his fellow Spaniard. Mata takes it up again. Now played back to Cahill inside the Chelsea half, not for long. He runs away from Hernandez. Mata once more instrumental in everything for Chelsea, looking for the forward runner Bertrand, intercepted well by Manchester United's Nani initially, and helped out by Rafael, and Rafael clears it over the halfway line, where it's controlled immediately by Luiz forward to Bertrand. 5.5 minutes to half time. Chelsea 1, Manchester United 1, the Capital One Cup. Here's Moses, who's had a very bright opening 40 minutes to the game, mostly down the right, now he's down the left. Tried to beat Nani, beat him at the second attempt. Now he crosses right-footed and not allowed to run. That should have been intercepted by Butner again, but it's Sturridge on the far side of the field, keeping it in play. Back to Azpilicueta. Sturridge now rushing in towards the penalty area, into Romeo. Romeo's ball was poor, and Manchester United can counter-attack here with Anderson driven long towards Hernandez. Luiz, aware of the danger, gets across, and no nonsense from him. He hits it high into the main stand. Throw in to Manchester United. It's 1-1 here at Stamford Bridge. It's still 0-0 at Carrow Road. Norwich and Tottenham, and 0-0 at Anfield, Liverpool and Swansea. The Liverpool game was an 8 o'clock kickoff, and there's commentary on 5 Live Sports Extra. We're inside the final 5 minutes of the first half here at Stamford Bridge. Good ball by Giggs to the left side, and Butner taps it back to Anderson. Fletcher available. Mata's presence prevented that pass. Anderson still has the ball though. Back to King, and now the other central defender, Wooten. Wooten goes over the halfway line, plays it to Butner. Butner was unlucky, he slipped, and then the ball hit him, and he's out of play for a throw-in to Chelsea. Let's get an update from Carrow Road. Alistair Bruce-Ball.
Couldn't be further removed from last night's 12-goal thriller. Norwich 0, Tottenham 0. Norwich is a home team playing very defensively. Majority of chances have gone to Tottenham. Most of the danger coming from Gareth Bale. Best chance, he played in Dempsey, and Dempsey stabbed it over the bar. 5 minutes to half-time. Norwich 0, Tottenham 0.
The Liverpool game kicked off 15 minutes later than the one at Norwich. Conor McNamara is watching it.
Liverpool 0, Swansea 0. Liverpool did well early on, but Swansea growing in confidence here, beginning beginning to look dangerous on the counter-attack. Pablo Hernandez has had the best chance of the game. He had a shot down the Anfield Road end, a 1-2 into the penalty area. Struggled, though, to dig out a clean effort, and it remains Liverpool 0, Swansea 0.
Butler errant again. Moses takes the ball off him. On it goes to Mata, just to the right of the United penalty. Now the cross swung in towards Piazon. Good header away by Raphael. Anderson chases after it. Keeps it in play, but doesn't find a red shirt with his pass forward. Instead it's with Luiz. We've got 3 minutes to go to half-time here at Stamford Bridge. 2 goals and 2 yellow cards so far in the game.
Yeah, United slightly erratic with their passing at the moment. Chelsea come right back into the game since the equaliser. I would suggest United had most of the play in the first 20 minutes, but since then Chelsea have come back into the game.
Luiz rash again, quickly fed forward to Hernandez. This could be 2-1. Hernandez makes it 2-1, and that's all from David Luiz, rampaging forward, losing possession, the counter-attack from Manchester United, and an emphatic finish from the Mexican.
Slightly against the run of play, but once again coolly finished with a beautiful touch by Hernandez. You always fancied him as he went forward, came into the box. Luiz, not for the first time, of course, in a blue shirt, making a mistake, coming into the centre of the midfield, trying to dribble. It was well blocked. I think it was Nani or Raphael that made the block. And when the ball was played through, Hernandez got on the goal side of the Cahill and drifted the ball into the goal with his left foot. And lovely pass, Anderson.
Yeah, importantly, Hernandez was onside.
Absolutely,
he was definitely onside.
Mikel was the one trailing him, Mikel and Cahill, but he put it unerringly into the corner. It was a fine goal.
Manchester United lead Chelsea by 2 goals to 1. 90 seconds of the first half remaining. Well, you think that's what gets me about Luiz. I know he can play, but there's always a mistake in him, David.
And that's why I think, looking at him play, he's got great energy, he's got great surge. I just think he's a player who you can accommodate in the midfield somehow, because I think he can really destroy teams by going past his immediate opponent in midfield.
Now, I don't know whether it was another smoke bomb or a firework let off. I mean, if it's a firework, how did they get it into the stadium? But that was certainly amongst the Manchester United fans again, away to the left.
Now, there is a row of stewards at the moment who are just behind Lindegaard's goal, and Lindegaard, who hasn't been troubled in the game, only conceded the penalty.
Anderson looking for Welbeck. That was Azpilicueta who made the interception. He finds the other fullback, Bertrand, to Luiz. So Luiz has scored from the penalty spot, but in effect gave Manchester United their second goal. I mean, they still had work to do. It was an excellent pass from Anderson and a good finish from Hernandez. Inside the final minute of the first half here at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 1, Manchester United 2. Moses with Mata to his right. It's played further wide to Azpilicueta. Back to Mata. Good work by Mata. Mata's crossed into the penalty area. Cleared by Keane. Michael Keane towards the far side of the field, and Hernandez, scorer of the latest goal. Lovely flick back to Giggs. On to Hernandez. That's excellent work down the left side. Hernandez now running towards Cahill. Up to the edge of the penalty area. Tapped it into where he thought Sturridge was. Welbeck was. Welbeck wasn't in that area, and it's cleared by Chelsea.
Great pass by Giggs to set Hernandez away. He might have done better there, but I think if they would have scored there, 3-1 would have been a little bit of a cruel reflection on Chelsea, who've been the victim of their own mistakes, really. The fact that they're losing is because of a bad mistake by the goalkeeper and a holding midfield player, Romu, that allowed Giggs to score. And then, of course, that awful mistake by Luiz where Anderson switched the ball so brilliantly to Hernandez, who went on and drifted the ball past Peter Cech.
Oh, glorious ball by Mata to Moses, right side of the penalty area. Moses now checking into his right foot, tapped it back. Mikel with a shot. It was only a wafted effort, but it hits the defender and goes behind for a corner. We're in added time at the end of the first half. We've already had nearly a minute of that added time and another minute to come. Chelsea 1, Manchester United 2. I think it's half-time at Norwich, where it's Norwich 0, Tottenham 0. Will be getting news from Alistair Bruce ball soon. Corner, played in by Chelsea. Hit into the air, headed down by Cahill. Was that a handball? A well spotted, well, not a handball he's awarded the free kick for. It's an offside. But that's right too. Free kick to Manchester United. Well, they've got 6,000 fans in the away end tonight. and they make a lot of noise. That is what's great generally about cup ties. You get a proper away allocation, and it helps the atmosphere.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. And the United supporters behind Lindegaard's goal in full voice.
As Lindegaard takes a free kick awarded for that offside. Chelsea play it to Piazon. Piazon's pushed over by Rafael. They take their free kick quickly. Romeo hits it to Azpilicueta on the far side, and I think Lee Mason's blown his whistle. He has. Couldn't hear him amidst the noise, but it is half time. It's not always been a great game, but it's one that demands your attention.
Yeah, it's a game that's really simmered below the surface. It hasn't been overly exciting. I thought that United's midfield got control early on in the game. I think that Sir Alex will be very pleased with the performance of his two young centre-halves, Michael Keane and Scott Wootton. And the United midfield, of course, experienced. Anderson and Giggs and Fletcher have done well when they've had possession, but the two goals have both come from awful mistakes by Chelsea, which they will regret. Peter Cech and then David Luiz, and in between Moses, who'd shown a lot of promise. A skip past Butner was pulled down, and Luiz dispatched the penalty. 2-1. Well, it's a fair game, not great. Neither goalkeeper being brought into action enough.
Half-time, Manchester United lead by 2-1.
Just one to you, David. I know we should really talk about Chelsea's defending, but we do that regularly. I've been really impressed with Moses, but the problem is, how often is he going to get a game when it really matters, bearing in mind the quality and the experience and the expense of those in front of him in the Chelsea team? Because he's played really well tonight.
Yes, he has, and he's a good player who can drift around up front. He can have come out on the left-hand side, the right-hand side, or even central, and he's a tease in all those areas of the field. He's not what you call a one-position player who has to play from a wide position all the time. And at Wigan, of course, he found some explosive form and was very exciting. Showed great promise, of course, at Crystal Palace. Other London clubs didn't take him. Then they take him on the rebound because they think other clubs might be interested, and they feel maybe the price at £7-8 million is quite attractive. But from the boy's career point of view, I have to say, I don't think, if Chelsea's players are fit, that he is going to get the opportunities. I don't know what satisfaction that would give the player at the end of the season. You need to play if you're a good player.
2-1 then to Manchester United at half-time, and Manchester United really been gifted both the goals by the Chelsea defence. So Chelsea 1, Manchester United 2. Let's go to Carrow Road, half-time. Alistair Bruce Bull, you used up your quota last night quite clearly.
I know, I promised Dean Ashton 12 goals here tonight, and I'm going to let him down badly unless it really kicks off in the second half. Norwich 0, Tottenham 0. So little has happened in the first half that Dean and I have been able to discuss the intricacies and the selection dilemmas we've been facing in our fantasy football teams. We're not going to bore you with all the details of that. Tottenham have had the majority of the chances. Gareth Bale has started for them tonight, and since he switched to the right flank, he started on the left. All the danger has come from there. He's had 3 shots himself. One he curled straight at Mark Bunn. There was a little cross he got on at the end of it, the near post, that he flicked into the side netting, and another drive wide from the edge of the box. Set up a brilliant chance for Clint Dempsey, who stabbed that one over the bar. And the way Norwich have set themselves up, it's actually difficult to see how they're going to score a goal tonight. From one corner, Steve Morrison has headed straight at Hugo Lloris. Norwich 0, Tottenham 0, the half-time score.
A goal at Anfield, Conor McNamara.
And it's gone to the visitors. Liverpool 0, Swansea 1. The goal with a header from central defender Chico Flores. And it had been coming because Swansea have created the best chances here all half. Jonathan de Guzman played through one-on-one with the keeper. Lovely swift counter-attacking move, but he chipped it over the crossbar. Before that, Pablo Hernandez had a very good chance. Key tried one from a long way out. He had Jones diving full stretch to save it. And finally, Flores with that header beyond Brad Jones. Brendan Rodgers knows Swansea are a good team, and they've been good tonight. Liverpool 0, Swansea 1.
Wanted to give you that goal as soon as possible, so let's nip back to Carrow Road and have a word with Dean Ashton. Dean, what are your reflections on the first half, 0-0 there?
I mean, obviously it's been slightly disappointing, and from Norwich's point of view, it's been even more disappointing. I think they're happy to sit back and let Tottenham have the ball, and obviously Tottenham being their wayside, they're happy to do that. The only real bit of quality we've seen on the pitch is Gareth Bale, and since, like Alice said, it was as soon as he came over to this right-hand side, he's cutting in on his left foot, and he's had a good shot and a good pass into Dempsey. So Norwich really need to improve, and I'd be surprised if Houghton doesn't make a change at half-time, possibly.
Dean, thank you very much. Let's go to Roddy Forsyth, quarter-finals in Scotland of the League Cup. Roddy's at Ibrox.
Yeah, and it doesn't look as though Rangers are going to be in the semi-finals. Chris Commons talking last night about the possibility of an Old Firm derby. Well, they may just have to settle for a game against an Old Firm favourite, at least for Rangers, Terry Butcher, because his side that are leading here at Ibrox. 27 minutes into the game, Andrew Shinnie Shinnie, played in by Aaron Doran. Doran, for my money, the best player on the pitch. Whenever he's on the ball, something happens. And Shinnie was 1-1 with Alexander. He made no mistake. It was a very quiet Ibrox for the rest of the half, I'll tell you that. Rangers 0, Cali Thistle 1.
Into the second half of Tannadice, Dundee United 1, Hearts 1 in the other quarter-final. We're going to speak to Paul Nicholls, trainer of record-breaking Quarto Star, who has retired today. We'll speak to Paul after the news at 8:36 with Faye Rusco.
On digital radio, digital TV, mobile and online.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live. The government has been defeated in the Commons over the EU budget.
The ayes to the right, 307. The noes to the left, 294.
The amendment, supported by Labour MPs and 53 rebel Tory backbenchers, calls for a real terms cut in the EU's budget. The vote's non-binding but poses a dilemma for David Cameron. Here's our chief political correspondent, John Pienaar.
It doesn't tie his hands, doesn't bind him to a particular course of action. But he now has to argue for his plan, which is to freeze the European budget, allowing for inflation. They voted for a cut in that budget, so he's in the unaccustomed, uncomfortable position of arguing for a more moderate position on Europe.
Conservative MPs who defied their party's whip have called it a significant victory for the people. We'll have more reaction with Tony Livesey here on 5 Live after the football from 10:30. 2 British soldiers shot dead in Helmand province by a man dressed in an Afghan police uniform yesterday have been named. Lieutenant Edward Drummond Baxter and Lance Corporal Siddhanta Kunwar were members of 1st Battalion, the Royal Gurkha Rifles. Chelsea have confirmed they've lodged a formal complaint with the FA against referee Mark Clattenburg. They claim he used a racial term when talking to John Obi Mikel during Sunday's match against Manchester United. And President Obama is in New Jersey inspecting the damage left by Superstorm Sandy. He suspended campaigning ahead of next week's election to deal with the aftermath of the storm. A quick look at the roads now. On the M60 anti-clockwise in Greater Manchester, 2 lanes are closed. Traffic is queuing due to an accident between junction 19 at Heaton Park and junction 18 at Simister Island. In Berkshire on the M4 westbound, 1 lane is closed because of a broken down vehicle on the M4 westbound between junction 12 and junction 13 at Newbury. Faye Rusco, 5 Live Travel.
Formula One. Indian Grand Prix. Download 5 Live's Checkered Flag podcast for post-race interviews, analysis and reaction.
Nobody else has led a lap in India. That's how dominant Sebastian Vettel has been. For the first time in his career, he's won 4 in a row.
Yes! Fernando Alonso will be pleased with that second position. The championship's still open.
Go to bbc.co.uk/5 Live and click on podcasts.
This is 5 Live Sport with Mark Pugach.
Chelsea 1, Manchester United 2 at half-time in the Capital One Cup here. Goalless at Carrow Road, Norwich and Tottenham. 8 o'clock start at Anfield, where the holders Liverpool are behind to Swansea by 1-0. Elsewhere, Andy Murray's through to the 3rd round of the Paris Masters tennis. He's beaten wildcard Paul-Henri Mathieu 7-5, 6-3. Henning Berg has been confirmed as the new manager of Blackburn. Quarto Star has been officially retired. The 12-year-old won 2 Cheltenham Gold Cups and 5 King George VI Chasers. We'll speak to his trainer, Paul Nicholls, in a moment. Sale Sharks have announced that Brian Redpath has taken on the role as head coach. Yesterday was confirmed he was removed as director of rugby, with Chief Executive Steve Darman taking charge of team affairs. It's just been announced that the England wing Chris Ashton has been suspended for a week, which means he will miss the first of the autumn internationals against Fiji. A week's suspension for Chris Ashton, so he's out of the Fiji international. And England ended the second day of the warm-up match against India A in Mumbai, 286 for 4. So they trailed by 83 runs. Kevin Peterson made 23 and captain Alistair Cook finished on 112 not out. So the record-breaking Quarto Star has been retired. The only horse to have regained the Cheltenham Gold Cup. He made history by winning the King George Chase for a 5th time on Boxing Day last year.
This is the best horse in the world.
Everybody knows who Quarto Star is.
The race is over for a racing legend.
He's got it all. He's an absolute superstar.
He loves the public. It's like it's his public.
If he was a person, he'd be Tiger Woods, Ronaldo, Federer and all that. Like, he'd be all them rolled into one.
What does Quarto mean to me? Just everything. Just everything.
I've heard legends from days gone by, and when people speak of them, you see a sparkle in their eye. From the times that we live in, people come from near and far to see one of the greatest. His name is Colo Star.
Kauto Star, the first horse ever to regain the Cheltenham Gold Cup. You are wonderful, Kauto Star.
Do you think he knows?
Oh, he definitely knows he's a star.
Kauto Star, he is such a hero.
Cometh the hour, cometh the star.
Now towards the final bits in the King George.
Cometh the betting from near and to far, the golden horse from a golden age at the end of an era on a grandest stage.
It was awesome. That was awesome.
And they're talking in the streets.
It's a magic moment. His 5th victory in the race. No horse has ever done that before. Racing history at Christmas time.
And they're talking in the bar. But you'll never see the like of Ruby Walsh and Colo Star.
Kauto Star again steals the racing headlines.
Well, listening to all that, Kauto Star's trainer Paul Nicholls. Paul, good evening. Welcome to 5 Live Sports.
Yeah, good evening to you.
What is your overriding emotion this evening, Paul?
Well, we're just relieved, really, that he's finishing at the top, and he's in really rude health after all the successes and miles he's run and jumped. It's this decision had to be made sometime. It was the right time to do it.
Was it an easy decision, a difficult decision? What was it like making that final decision with the owner, Clive Smith, of course?
Well, obviously, Clive and I have been talking about it during the summer, and we always arranged to meet sort of this morning, sometime towards the end of October. We both knew it was the right thing to do. Clifford, who rides him every day, was on board with that as well. And it was a unanimous decision, really, and it's the right decision.
When you've trained somebody like Kauto Star, who has been so successful, been such a part of your life, do you almost have to go through some sort of grieving process, knowing that you're never going to train him again?
Well, yeah, to be honest, I suppose after last year's Gold Cup, we were sort of probably thinking that was highly likely to happen. And what with his pal Denman having retired as well, it was getting very close to that. But he's still going to be here every day. Clifford's still going to ride him out, up until the spring, and still be part of our lives.
I mean, that's the difference, isn't it? Because obviously we've been talking about Frankel all summer. We were at Ascot the other day when he won his 14th race. It's such a different sport, isn't it? Because Frankel goes off to stud. And how can we put it? Kauto Star doesn't have that luxury. So he stays a part of your life in the way that many flat horses don't.
Exactly. And, whereas the flat horse has probably run for 2 or 3 seasons, Kauto's been running for 7. And it's a big difference. But he's still got half his life in front of him.
When I interviewed you, and we heard that little clip there on Boxing Day at the King George, you were so emotional about the way he'd won. You said to me that day that actually, in many ways, that was the greatest day of his career because he'd proved so many people wrong. Is that still your emotion?
I think both Haydock and Kempton, were just amazing runs, to come back from, being written off to win it, be the Gold Cup winner at Haydock and going on win that 5th King George was just fantastic and be very, very hard to beat days like that.
You mentioned Denman, of course, there's great rivalry. You trained Denman as well, so they shared a stable yard, of course. Yeah. Did they, in the way that so many sporting rivalries do, did they pull each other along?
I think they did. They ran in so many Gold Cups together. They were neighbours. They spent a lot of time together. Yeah, they're big pals, and they did bring each other along, no doubt about it.
Paul, thank you very much indeed. And I know those who love jump racing, just those who have a passing interest, would have thoroughly enjoyed watching Kauto Star. So thank you very much for the memories.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to train him.
Absolutely. Thank you very much indeed. Paul Nicholls, trainer of Kauto Star, who was retired today. Let's go back to Anfield then. Swansea ahead against the holders, Conor McNamara.
Yes, we're just about to go into stoppage time at the end of the first half, but it's Liverpool 0, Swansea 1. The goal scored by the central defender, Chico Flores. Good, powerful header from close range, and you have to say it was one of those that was coming because Swansea have made the best chances here. For Liverpool, Stuart Downing's had their best shot on target from a long way out. It was palmed away by the goalkeeper, Gerhard Tremel. Samid Yesil, the young German, he's leading the line for Liverpool. He looked a little bit lightweight, I think, in this first half. One very good turn on the edge of the box, but couldn't get a clean shot away. He's not seen too much of the ball, to be fair. Joe Cole is hovering in a roll in behind him. He's not been on the ball much either. So as we just play out the final few minutes of stoppages ahead of the break, Liverpool attacking the Kop in this first half, but they're behind. Liverpool 0, Swansea 1.
There's live commentary on Sports Extra, goalless at Carrow Road. That's Norwich and Tottenham as the players come out here for the second half. Been pointed out to me, David Pleat, that Shevchenko is alongside Abramovich in the director's box here.
Well, they both
evening.
speak the same language,
Yeah.
but one's more successful than the other one at football, and one's more successful than the other one at business.
Yeah, and one might be more successful. Well, actually, no, they're both quite successful in politics as well. That's where Shevchenko wants to go. We always say about David Luiz, don't we? We love watching him, there's always a mistake in him. So when he does things like that, we'll say next week there's always a mistake in him.
Yeah, he's good to watch. I can't explain it. He's got so much love for the game within himself. He wants to explode and show you how good he is really with his runs and his dribbling. But of course, as a defender, the first element is distrust of your colleague, and you've got to make sure that you cover, you tackle, you anticipate, and you defend properly, and that's first and foremost. And you know, you look at his assets and you think, well, maybe he is in the wrong position.
So Chelsea have made a change there, Alan Green, and Ramirez has come on.
Yeah, so have Manchester United. Nick Powell has come on, and I'm pretty sure it's Darren Fletcher who's made way. So Powell for Fletcher, and Ramirez has replaced Mikel. The referee is Lee Mason, who's handled things really well tonight so far. And the second half is underway. Manchester United leading by 2-1, and you think that, you know, Chelsea, with this long unbeaten start to the season, they've now, well, they lost their last 2 games and they're on course for a 3rd successive defeat.
Well, it's a possibility, and you know that stats can make things look much more grim than they really are. I think with the Carling Cup, of course, the most important thing for Chelsea is to get back track on the league as quickly as possible after the traumas of last Sunday. I think that's the most important thing in their minds at the moment. But they certainly have a team on this field good enough to get a goal back, that is for sure.
That's another loose pass by Chelsea though, and Giggs forward, and Hernandez trying to pick out the run of the substitute for United, Powell, couldn't quite do so. So half-time, by the way, at Anfield is Liverpool 0, Swansea 1. The half-time score at Carrow Road was Norwich 0, Tottenham 0. These are the 2 lineups, the revised lineups here at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea's goalkeeper is Cech. The defence is Azpilicueta, Luiz, Cahill and Bertrand. In midfield, we've now got Romeu and Ramirez, and ahead of that, Moses, Mata and Piazon, and finally Sturridge. Manchester United's goalkeeper is Lindegaard. The defence, Raphael, Wooten, Keane and Butner. Butner gave away the penalty. In midfield, Nani, Anderson, Powell and Giggs, and finally Hernandez and Welbeck.
Well, you can fully understand Di Matteo taking Mikel off with the problem of 1 yellow card and going into 1 or 2 challenges that could eventually see him in another controversial situation if Mr. Mason had to the letter of the law.
Sorry, if Fletcher's still on the pitch, I'll get this Manchester United substitution in a minute. The shot driven in by Powell. Good save by Cech.
No, Powell is the advanced man now of the midfield, and Giggs has gone as the deepest. Anderson's still on.
What's happened is that Fletcher's gone to right back, Raphael to left back, and the man who's made way is Butner.
Yeah, Butler, the left back who gave the penalty away, is off the field. Fletcher will just sit in the right back area, and Powell will come on and try and make those runs from midfield, and he's just hit a fine shot.
Yeah, Giggs takes the corner short and gets the return pass. Giggs left-footed, driven deep, toward the far post, overhit, and then it was a foul by United player inside the penalty area. I think it was Wooden who was guilty, and it's a free kick to Chelsea. I was going to say, David, I'm glad it's not Fletcher who's come off, because had Fletcher come off, I'd have thought, I hope that's not a recurrence of the injury.
Yes, of course. No, he was steady in the first half, wasn't he, from that midfield area, and he'll give them a little bit more height at the back maybe now. Raphael, we know, can play at left back.
Yeah, and he might look after Moses better than Butner was looking after Moses.
Also, Alan, with the goal advantage now, the full-backs can probably just sit a little bit more in their areas. They don't have to raid so much. They're not chasing the game, provided Anderson sits. And importantly, the 2 young centre-halves for United who've been fine so far. No problems at all. They haven't been given a problem by Sturridge, and they're sitting fine. So if Raphael and Fletcher can just sit either side of them and make sure they're giving good cover, they'll gain in confidence as the game progresses.
Throw-in taken by Raphael to Powell, a substitute, and on to Giggs. Giggs level with the edge of the Chelsea penalty, into Powell. Good control by Powell, pulling the ball back just behind his target, Welbeck. Nani, though, collects it. Edge of the D. Nani then tackle, loses it. Here's Mata. Mata sweeps it forward. Sturridge brings it under control. Mata's free. Sturridge doesn't see him. He's got blinkers on, but he's into the penalty area. And then an excellent tackle by Raphael, and it's behind for a corner.
Wonderful challenge. Wonderful challenge by the retreating Raphael. He did brilliantly well. He was 20 yards behind Sturridge when Sturridge picked it up and attacked Wootton, and Raphael went all the way into the box.
Here's the corner played in. Manchester United were dithering. Sturridge was there, tried to backheel the ball into the goal, didn't make any contact, and it's out of play. Manchester United just switched off. It was a great corner by Mata. Goodness gracious.
And he had more time than he thought. He tried to backheel it. He was on his own, Sturridge. That's the second time that he's kind of misplaced or kind of got his geography wrong in that 6-yard box. There was a time in the first half when he stumbled on a wonderful pass by Moses, and that was the second occasion.
And there were two occasions there that Mata was so threatening. Sturridge, arguably, instead of going into the penalty area himself, should have passed to the left. Mata was clear. Anyway, it's a bright start to the second half by Chelsea. Chelsea 1, Manchester United 2. Remember, Liverpool trailing 1-0 at home to Swansea in the 8 o'clock kickoff. There's commentary on that game on 5 Live Sports Extra. And in the other 7:45 kickoff, Norwich 0, Spurs 0. In the Scottish League Cup quarter-finals, Rangers trailing at Ibrox to Inverness Caledonian Thistle 1-0. Here's Powell, with the header to Giggs. Giggs inside right channel. Almost lost the ball. One back by Fletcher there. To the far side, Nani. Into Anderson. Oh, Anderson's done really well. Getting past a strong challenge. The ball's edge of the D. Hernandez flags up for offside against Anderson.
Cleverly worked by United across the edge of that 18-yard box there. Showing some authority with a clinical passing. And it's a strange thing, Alan, the tempo of the game has gone up, and sometimes that's been kind of transmitted by maybe both managers' team talk at half-time. They're asking for a little bit more, and I think at the moment the players are giving it them a little bit quicker pace.
Just to emphasise, I'm not going soft on officials. That decision by the assistant offside was wrong. Anderson was onside. Anyway, Chelsea now on the attack. Really bright start to the second period. Mata to the left side. Bertrand takes it up onto Mata again. He's been excellent tonight. The cross deep for Sturridge. Palm behind by Lindegaard. He hasn't had a great deal to do.
No, he's had very little to do. He's 6'4", good 6'4", and he just touched that ball over the bar, kept it safe. Now United will have to be a little bit more focused on this corner.
Mata to take the corner. They are more focused, United, you can tell that. But it's played into the near post and it's headed in by Cahill. Or was it headed off the line? No, the assistant has decided that the ball has crossed the line and it's 2-2. Cahill's header crossed the goal line. It's an equaliser, whatever Raphael thinks.
It's controversial. Raphael tried to get the ball away. It's good movement by Cahill to meet the corner. And we were talking about them more focused for the second corner, but the assistant had no doubt. As the ball came in, Cahill made a good run, and the ball is over the line. It's a goal, no question about it. Raphael clears it, but he's behind the line. It's a clear goal.
No doubt at all. All the Chelsea fans are standing up, wondering if it was the right decision. It was the right decision, and it's 2-2. So they've only got one offside wrong.
He did ever so well.
That.
Raphael, for a small guy, did so brilliantly well to try and get that ball away. He deserves some credit for that. Unfortunately, he was just standing behind the line, but he made a marvellous attempt to get that off. It's poised, it's 2-2. Could it be 7-5? I doubt it.
I don't particularly need extra time. Anyway, here's Giggs from Manchester United looking for Hernandez. Overhits the pass, and that's behind for a goal kick.
Real fast start to this second half. Terrific header by Cahill.
And, Mata involved again. When I've seen Chelsea this season, he's been their best player. For me. Chelsea 2, Manchester United 2. Cahill drives the ball forward. Sturridge is going to get there ahead of Wootton. Sturridge to the right of the penalty area, supported by Moses. Sturridge runs away from Moses and away from Wootton. Romeo to Mata. Piazon. Mata again, 30 yards from goal. Lovely ball lifted to the right side. And Moses drives it through the 6-yard box, but too quick for his Chelsea colleagues. And it's out of play for a throw into Manchester United.
Terrific ping there by Moses, but it just picked up too much height as it whistled across the 6-yard box. But Chelsea have definitely raised their game a few knots.
They're going to make another change, Chelsea, shortly. They're going to bring on Hazard. He's a sort of rubbish substitute available.
Well, you look at the United bench tonight, players like, well, Johnson, the goalkeeper, Tony Cliff and Jesse Lingard, a young player, Brady, who had a spell on loan at Hull City last year, an outside left. You cannot compare the inexperience of United's bench to the experience of Chelsea. It's Piazon, who's failed to make an impression. He did okay, came inside a lot from the touchline in the first half and was denied the pass because he was coming into the crowd and making space for Bertrand coming into the area behind him. But his time will come. He's a very exciting winger, as we said, from Brazil. They paid a lot of money for him. We just got to hope for his sake that he gets opportunities here.
Well, it just shows you Chelsea's determination to remain in this Capital One Cup. You know, 2 substitutions made, one at half-time, one early in the second half. Ramirez and Hazard on. It's scarcely under strength, this Chelsea team. And remember, there are 3 players suspended. Terry, Ivanovic and Torres. Lampard's injured. Cahill, scorer of the headed equaliser for Chelsea. Taps the ball back to Ramirez. We've already had 10 minutes in the second half. They've flown by. Mata to Hazard on the far side. Hazard taps it back, still kept in Chelsea's possession, and then Hazard loses it. And Powell, the youngster for Manchester United, he gives the ball away. Chelsea now dominant. Score level at 2-2. Liverpool, the holders, losing 1-0 at half-time to Swansea. 0-0 is the score at Norwich and Spurs. Here's Luis, guilty for one of the Manchester United goals. Czech guilty for the first one. It's played forward towards Sturridge, headed away carefully by Keane and stabbed towards the halfway line. Nani jumps, just glances off his forehead, keeping it in play, but only into Chelsea's possession.
Hernandez becoming a little bit isolated as the Chelsea frontman there. When Keane did well and got the ball forward and high, only Hernandez was chasing and he was out-muscled by Luis.
Good turn by Hazard. Hazard with Bertrand to his left. Hazard may not need the full-back, but he feeds it into him, into the penalty area, pulls the ball back, Lindegaard pounces on it.
Wonderful pass by Mata, inside the full-back, old-fashioned style, and there was Bertrand racing to the byline to squeeze that ball back, and Lindegaard stretches and clutches the ball. Good save by the goalkeeper, but fine play by Chelsea.
Really good second half. 2-2. And now there's a foul on the far side of the field. Nani thinks he's innocent, but it was the assistant who flagged.
Nani making all sorts of gestures there, but not at the referee, and no dissent to the referee. But of course the crowd saw his theatrics and they booed accordingly.
Here's Cahill to Moses, back to Cahill. And Moses once more, a yard short of the halfway line, towards the near side, the right for Chelsea in this second half. Then it's fed forward by Azpilicueta. Comes back off a Manchester United boot, but only into Chelsea's possession once more. Cahill to Romeu, who still has a yellow card against his name tonight. On to the wonderful Mata. Now Bertrand down the left side. Bertrand back to Mata. Chelsea full of intent at the start of the second half. Good run forward by Mata. Taps the pass back to Ramirez. Ramirez onto the right side to Azpilicueta, who controls it, crosses it early, in towards Sturridge, headed away carefully by the United defence. And now Nani in the far side of the field. Good control by the Portuguese player. And Romeu, just as well he didn't pull him down. That would have been a second yellow card. Nani has set United on the counter-attack here. Hernandez, edge of the Chelsea penalty area, gets the ball back off a defender. Now finds Nani onto Anderson. Nani again, this could be 3-2. Brilliant goal! Exceptional goal in front of the Manchester United fans at the shed end of Stamford Bridge. Wonderful control by Nani. He started the move and he finished it with an imperious dink over the Chelsea goalkeeper check. It's Chelsea 2, Manchester United 3.
The goal of real beauty, that. Lovely play by Nani, and such clever play around the box by United. Brilliant short little passes, and as the goalkeeper came sliding out, Nani nonchalantly just pushed the ball over the top of him into the far corner. A wonderful response to Chelsea's equaliser. A wonderful response. Great goal.
And now we're only 3 goals short of a 4-4 in 90 minutes.
You know what we said about the 7-5?
No. Can't happen. Can't happen. Goal at Ibrox, Roddy.
Yes, indeed, and it's another goal, I must say, for Inverness Cali Thistle. So Terry Butcher's side looking very good indeed. I thought it might have been Warren who got it from the corner kick, but Roberts celebrated in the manner of a man who had found the net with a header that went through a forest of legs. At the moment, it's Rangers 0, Cali Thistle 2.
And Alistair Bruce balls at Norwich.
15 minutes into the second half, Norwich 0, Tottenham 0. Norwich keeper Mark Bunns already had to make a couple of saves, and Clint Dempsey almost going through here. Good sliding challenge on him from Ryan Bennett. Gets the ball away. Dean Ashton, Tottenham look like they mean business at the start of this second half.
They do, and Norwich look like they're in the same state as they were in the first half, happy to sit back and let Tottenham come onto them. And again, Gareth Bale's the one who looks like he's going to unlock the door.
Bunns made the saves from Bale and Falque, but it's still Norwich 0, Tottenham 0.
The second half will be getting underway at Anfield shortly. Liverpool, the holders of this competition, trailing Swansea 1-0. Here at Stamford Bridge, Manchester United 3-2 winners in the Barclays Premier League on Sunday. Lead 3-2 again in the Capital One Cup, and they've got a corner.
Giggs and Welbeck combining, Giggs getting to the line. United once again responding to their goal that's given them the lead. It was Chelsea that upped the pace when they equalised at 2-2, but the game is a completely different type of affair to the first half, which by comparison was mundane.
Giggs taps the corner to Nani, takes the return ball, gives it to Nani again. Nani in towards Giggs, into the penalty area. He was allowed to get there. Back to Anderson. Anderson's shot comes back over the defender. Oh, and it's hit over the crossbar by Hernandez. Should have been 4-2.
Yeah, Anderson had a chance. He tried to place it. Chelsea rocking at the back. United looking very dangerous when they get into that last 25-30 yards of the field. It was a great block. I think it was Romelu who blocked it, and when the ball came to Hernandez off Peter Cech, he just drifted the ball over the bar. He should have scored,
and he knows it. It's Chelsea 2, Manchester United 3 here on 5 Live. Cahill hits it upfield. Raphael heads it away from Moses, and then it's into Ramirez. It was a stern challenge from Paul, a foul challenge by the young midfield player, and it's a free kick to Chelsea. Luiz plays it square to his right to Cahill. Cahill up to the halfway line, on to Moses, who's had a bright hour for Chelsea, with his team trailing 3-2. Now Sturridge on to Hazard, left edge of the penalty area. Bertrand in support, Matt is in field. I'd be inclined to say give it to Mata. He makes most things work for Chelsea. Mata takes it up. On to Hazard on his right foot, into the penalty area. Moses falls over, can't get the ball back to another blue shirt, but it's only partially cleared by Manchester United, and then that's overhit by Azpilicueta, out of play on the far side for a throw into Manchester United. What news at Anfield, Connor?
Just back underway for the second half, Alan. Liverpool 0, Swansea 1 on Halloween night. Liverpool have been nowhere near scary enough so far. So Brendan Rodgers is sending out 2 new trick-or-treaters. He's brought on Steven Gerrard and Luis Suarez, a double half-time substitution. Liverpool 0, Swansea 1.
Do you get extra money for children in need the more references you make to Halloween and...
I hope so.
Trick-or-treat. Thanks, Connor. 3-2 to Manchester United here at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea in possession. Hazard crosses deep. Oh, played back by Azpilicueta. He actually could have had a shot at goal, but he was trying to lay it on for a colleague, got it wrong, and it's behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, the Spanish right back there appearing in the 18-yard box, but he drifted the ball back across the goal where he could have probably caressed it and then picked the pass, but he decided to go for that far post area and he hit it too high. But he's had a steady role in the team. He hasn't let them down so far.
18 minutes played in the second period. Chelsea 2, Manchester United 3. The same scoreline that we had in the league game on Sunday. It's with Bertrand. Bertrand back to Cech. Cech lashes it over the halfway line. Headed away by Wooten into the Chelsea half again. Welbeck heads it on, but only to Cahill. Romeu for Chelsea. On to Sturridge, foul tackle by Wooten. That could be a yellow card, and it is.
Yeah, there's the inexperience of the young man Wooten, making a challenge, going to ground in the centre circle. No need to make the challenge there on Sturridge. All he has to do is to get tight to him, and when Sturridge plays the ball off and makes his run, he makes sure he stays goal side with him. So a bit of inexperience there, but overall, I have to say, Scott Wooten and Michael Keane, 2 real novices at this level, have done very well so far this evening.
Free kick's been taken by Chelsea. It's with Louise on the far side, on to Bertrand, into Mata. Mata, 20 yards over the halfway line, to Romeo. And now to the right side, and Azpilicueta, who taps it forward to Hazard, the Belgian, who's come to the right side. Usually he's down the left, but they can interchange so freely, these Chelsea midfield players. Romeo to Mata. And Mata, nice little dink pass forward to Azpilicueta, who turns, gives it back to Mata, into the penalty area. Back it goes, Sturridge shoots, takes a deflection corner.
Well, I think we've seen 3 times as many shots already in 20 minutes of this second half as we saw in the whole of the first half. Once again, Mata, the orchestrator of that attack.
Takes the corner, Mata to Hazard. Hazard crosses into the penalty and the header's over. Goodness gracious, Moses should have made it 3-3.
Holy Moses, should have scored. Put it down. Drifted the ball over the bar. Get it down, boy. Great chance.
And there's no children in need money for Holy Moses either.
I don't really know why I said it, but it was a great chance.
It was just natural. It's quite a game now, isn't it?
Oh, it's a game. And you know, psychologically, and we've got a lot of time to go, if United hold on and win this game, it's a massive blow for them, for Chelsea. Top of the league, been beaten twice at home.
Be 3 straight
by the nearest challengers, 3 defeats on the trot. You know, it's a lot in the mental psyche at the moment for these top teams. Chelsea wouldn't want this today. They started with a stronger team on paper, I felt, than Manchester United.
It's with Powell, and Powell plays it back to Keane. It's Michael Keane, not Roy Keane, who stabs it to the right side. Fletcher into Anderson. Fletcher's versatility again emphasised tonight. Started midfield, now playing it right back. The ball to Anderson wasn't great. Anderson's tenacity kept it in United's possession. Raphael on to Nani. Nani, centre of the Chelsea half. Looks towards the left, gives the ball away. 117 to the other 17 to Hazard. But Hazard, I thought he was balked there by Powell.
No, he wasn't, Alan. He tried to do too much there, and the United robbed him. He was just trying to be too clever.
And finally, there's been a goal at Norwich for Alistair Bruce-Ball.
Tottenham fans celebrating a bit of brilliance from Gareth Bale. He's looked the most likely source of a goal all night. Cut him from the left-hand side this time and hit it with his weaker right foot, shall we say. Nothing weak about the finish, though. Edge of the area, arrowing into the bottom corner. Dean Ashton, great strike.
Fantastic, and he was the only one who was going to produce something like that tonight. And, you know, Norwich have just sat back and no one's picked him up, and he's turned, no one's got close to him, and a great shot and a great finish from Bale.
And having become a father recently, went for the obvious rockabye baby celebration, ran over to the Tottenham fans, and everyone joined in, cradling their arms and rocking them backwards and forwards. Norwich 0, Tottenham 1.
So tonight, so far, the teams likely to be heading into the quarter-finals are Tottenham winning at Norwich, Manchester United winning here at Stamford Bridge, and Swansea winning at the home of the holders, Liverpool at Anfield, to join Arsenal, Aston Villa, Leeds, Middlesbrough and Bradford City, who are already through to the last 8.
Wonderful for Bradford, isn't it? Because whatever happens, it looks as though they're going to get a big draw.
Yeah, a lot of goals around the competition.
That's good.
A lot of goals. 5 so far tonight, and I suspect there'll be more here at Stamford Bridge. You're listening to 5 Live in the BBC. Don't forget, there's commentary on the Liverpool game on 5 Live Sports Extra. We're past the midway point of the second half at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea have come back, but they'll have to come back again. Sturridge.
The good thing about United, Alan, is they don't betray their tradition. You know, they go a goal up, they don't sit back and try and defend the goal. They keep playing, they go to try and make it 4-2. And that's what makes United such a good club. They've always had this attacking philosophy.
Sturridge to Bertrand. And on to the far side. And now it's with Moses, who pops up on the left. To Mata, edge of the penalty. Mata jinks past the defender, crosses deep. Oh, it's headed over by Azpilicueta when it was easier to head in.
Another one. Should have been a goal. Obviously, watch Moses when he missed his chance just earlier on. Azpilicueta should have scored, came in at the back post against the smallest fullback on the field, Raphael. Wonderful little dink by Mata with his left foot, and it was probably only 3 yards out when the Spanish fullback headed that ball over, and he should have headed it down, and he should have scored.
That was the key, just head it down.
You've got to get that ball down, even if it sometimes goes down too early and bounces over the bar. It can happen. but you've got to get that ball down, and if possible in the opposite corner to where it came from.
By the way, the draw for the quarterfinals will be tonight. Chelsea 2, Manchester United 3. 2 goals since half-time, but we could have had 4 or 5 quite easily. Nani, back to Fletcher, operating at right back now, into Giggs. Nani again. Giggs, the captain of Manchester United tonight, plays it forward to Welbeck. Welbeck sort of just pushed into Azpilicueta, almost put the Spanish right back off, but not quite enough, and decided to play for a throw into Chelsea, who've got 21 minutes left in which to score at least 1 goal that would take the tie into extra time. Powell couldn't collect that pass. It's played back by Chelsea to their captain tonight, Petr Cech. Cech hits it upfield.
Fletcher doing a steady job, isn't he, Alan? At right back there on the far side. Moses on the wide left at the moment, but he's not able to get the ball and give Fletcher a run. Fletcher playing...
Oh, Cahill makes a mistake. Ball taken up by Hernandez. Oh, flags up for offside against Hernandez.
Sorry about that, Alan. Just saying how well Fletcher was doing, what a steady game he's playing at right back. Powell, who came on at half-time and took his place in the centre of the midfield, made one very good run earlier with a good shot, which the goalkeeper say, but generally speaking, quiet, but working very hard.
I've just seen a replay of that, and I wasn't concentrating. I'm puzzled to see how Hernandez was offside. Anyway, play has resumed with a Chelsea free kick. Bertrand on the far side of the field, the Chelsea left. And now it's with Victor Moses. Moses into Ramirez, relatively unmarked, centre of the United half. On to the excellent Mata. Mata crosses towards Moses. He takes it on his chest. Did he use his hand? No, he didn't, but he couldn't bring the ball under control. Hands behind for a goal kick. And it's Dundee United 1, Hearts 1. That's going to extra time in the last 8 of the Scottish League Cup. Another change for Chelsea. Oscar is coming on for Romeo. So you've got that trio all in action now in the last 20 minutes of the game.
No deep lying, particularly midfield player. So Romeo and Mikel both off the field now. Ramirez will try and hold that centre circle area. But we've got the creative threesome on now, the 3 players that have been so important to Chelsea's early season surge.
And look, Matt has gone further forward into a central position. Sturridge has gone to the right for the moment, and Moses is down the left, and Moses is in possession. Moses to Oscar, great ball into Mata, edge of the penalty here, onside it seems. Now he crosses, hit a hand, but I don't see how that could be judged as a penalty kick.
Well, that's the one where he plays the ball probably from less than 2 yards away from the player. What does the player do? Does he play with both hands behind his back and not being in a position to make a challenge or a tackle? It's difficult when a player is balanced and he's standing and a player plays the ball in front of him. We'll see that again hopefully in a minute and give you a better understanding of what we feel might have been the correct decision.
Oscar crosses in towards Mata. Mata taps it back. Bertrand shoots weakly though, and it's cleared by Manchester United. My instinctive reaction was that can't be a penalty kick, because how do you get your hand out of the way when it's that close? Manchester United counter-attacking here, leading 3-2 here at Stamford Bridge. 17 minutes left for play. On the far side, couldn't get the cross in, Nani, but he has won a throw-in.
We've got a wonderful ebb and flow game, that is for sure at the moment. The referee getting a lot of stick. You don't expect anything else, of course, if the home crowd think that he's turned down a fair penalty appeal.
Well, it's got nothing to do with the fact that he said good morning to me this morning in such a polite manner. He just had a good game, Lee Mason.
Absolutely. And it's pouring with rain, Alan, as well.
That wasn't forecast.
I think it was.
Was it?
Yeah, I think it was, Alan.
Is that why I've got my brolly with me?
Yeah, obviously, you're quite sensible. You do look at the weather forecast occasionally. It did forecast rain, and the rain has come, and it's bucketing down at the moment.
Anderson loses the ball. Mata was just tripped. Referee gives a free kick, taken quickly. Oscar onto Ramirez. Ramirez running away from Powell. Powell was strong. Made a challenge. Get the ball to Giggs. It's an excellent game of football now.
Oh, very good.
Raphael down the left side. Back to Giggs. 16.5 minutes to go. It's still 1-0 for Swansea at Liverpool. 1-0 to Tottenham at Norwich. Now Moses rampaging forward now for Chelsea. Plays it to Bertrand, left of the penalty area. That cross is overhit. Raphael takes it brilliantly in his right thigh anyway and clears carefully to Welbeck. Welbeck can't get past Azpilicueta. It's Oscar, the Brazilian for Chelsea. moving forward, shoots, not that far wide.
You know, they hit that ball just from the edge of the box, but it was never convincing. Aspizcaleta was coming up on his outside. Here we have a chance to see the handball again. It was the young defender, I think it was young Keane. He was about a yard away and certainly didn't intend to hand that ball. The ball struck him on his hand from about half a yard. I think Mason once again was correct.
I mean, you can't wander around the pitch with your arms glued to the sides.
No.
It's a matter of balance. I don't think he could deliberately handle the ball from that distance. But given the mood and what happened on Sunday, the Chelsea fans feel aggrieved again. Here's Luiz to Cahill. Manchester United lead by 3-2. Hazard on to Oscar. Oscar trying to hold off Anderson, but one Brazilian on another, and Lee Mason gives a free kick to Chelsea. Oscar to take it and played very accurately to Sturridge. Sturridge had created a bit of room, taps it towards the left side. Now Moses is towards the penalty area, but it's to Sturridge again. Back to Moses, here's a chance. Oh, shoots straight at the goalkeeper, Lindegaard.
Good save. Moses might have hit it with a little bit more purpose, but the goalkeeper did very well. And once again, United struggling to stop Chelsea making these goal chances. They're both sides, in actual fact, making goal chances. But you do feel as though Chelsea could get another if he can get the ball enough around that penalty box.
Quarter of an hour to go. Chelsea 2, Manchester United 3. Here on 5 Live. Hazard rolls away from Raphael. Hazard moving forward. Passes to Moses. Left side of the penalty area. Moving infield. Looking for a colleague. Finds Mata on his left foot. Mata slips the pass to the left to Bertrand. Lots of blue shirts in the United penalty area. There's the cross. The header by Oscar. Not a great one, but still in that penalty area. And it's bouncing awkwardly for Welbeck. Welbeck does well. Finding Anderson. Manchester United counter-attacking here. Hernandez free down the right side. Running through the middle is Nani. Hernandez controls the pass from Anderson. Hernandez back to Anderson. Central position, 35 yards out, shoots wide. Wait for it.
Well, he kept it down, but it hit it low and past the post.
News at Ibrox from Ruddy.
A penalty kick just converted to make it Rangers 0, Cali Thistle 0. It was Argiriou on Andrew Shinnie. I didn't think it was much of an offence, I must say. Nevertheless, the referee pointed to the spot and up stepped the other Shinnie brother, Graham Shinnie, and Terry Butcher will be the most delighted man connected with Rangers tonight, but it's his team, Cali Thistle, 3 up.
All right, Ulster Bruce Balls at Norwich.
Tottenham 14 minutes away from the quarter-finals. Gareth Bale's goal means they lead Norwich by the goal to nil. Dean Ashton, Hugo Lloris has made a couple of saves in this second half, but Norwich overall are heading towards a fairly limp exit here.
Yeah, I mean, they've obviously made the changes, but I think it might be too late. I mean, they've gone 4-4-2 and a bit more direct, but they need something to happen, and it happens soon.
Simeon Jackson, Alex Tetty on Norwich 0, Tottenham 1.
And to Anfield and Connor.
Still Liverpool 0, Swansea 1. Chico Flores goal with a powerful close-range header in the first half. He's been forced out of the game now since the break with an injury. Gary Monk has come on for Swansea. Liverpool have brought on Gerrard and Suarez. Suarez with brilliant control on the edge of the penalty area to weave into a shooting position, but his shot was poor. It was too high. Liverpool 0, Swansea 1.
Here at Stamford Bridge, we've got a little over 12 minutes to go plus added time. 2-3 is the score. 2 for Chelsea, 3 for Manchester United.
And it's the type of game where both sides seem as though they want to score more goals. United not shutting up shop in any way, and when they go forward and make the wrong selection, Chelsea are countering them. There's a massive void of space in the centre of the field. It's as though Chelsea are having a go at that end, and when it comes back out, United have a go at the other end, and the midfield play, which was so dominant in the first half, seems to have gone out the game.
Mata forward to Sturridge. Sturridge doesn't find Hazard. That all came from a free kick awarded against Ryan Giggs for foul on Oscar. Now Manchester United on the counter-attack. Anderson to the far side and Nani. Hernandez lurking edge of the penalty area. Nani's up into the penalty area now. To Anderson. Back to Welbeck. No real space for the shot. Welbeck passes to the right side and Fletcher. Up from right fullback. And it goes to Giggs. Look how many red shirts are forward for Manchester United. They're leading 3-2, but they're not just holding on, they're searching for other goals.
Yeah, they've got the right mentality.
Wooden to Fletcher on the far side. On to Nani. Back to Fletcher. And they've still got 3 players right in central positions attacking that Chelsea penalty area. Fletcher again. to Nani. Anderson, Nani, good football from Manchester, through towards Welbeck, passed back, I think, not deliberately by Azpilicueta. It was more an interception, that's why Czech could gather it.
Yeah, and now Chelsea will come. Once again, United out of position because they've been attacking. The forwards need to get back. Anderson, Powell both need to get back. Moses in possession, way into the United half.
Moses to Ramirez, and now Oscar, and swept on to Bertrand on the far side of the field. To Oscar once more. Oh, glorious ball into Bertrand. Can he pull it back to a Chelsea player? He can't. It hit a United defender, and it's cleared by Manchester United through Giggs to Welbeck and on to Hernandez. It's a credit to both sides, you know.
It's a super second half, no doubt about that.
And look at Fletcher. You know, he's meant to be a right back. He's midway inside the Chelsea half at the moment, playing a 1-2 with Hernandez. Fletcher still has the ball. That's a good pass to Ryan Giggs. 10 minutes left for play here on 5 Live. Manchester United lead Chelsea 3-2. Swansea lead Liverpool 1-0. And it's Norwich 0, Tottenham 1 at Carrow Road. That game kicked off like this one at 7:45. Raphael crosses into the penalty area, slightly behind Welbeck, and it's behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, dangerous ball by Raphael, who's been switched to left back in this half. We got another substitute now, young Tunnicliffe coming on. Strong midfield player, probably shore it up a little bit perhaps for Anderson. Anderson's had a good second half. Looks just a little bit heavy around the midriff, Anderson, but I think he's been a good foil in this second half for Powell and Giggs. He's made some perceptive passes, not quite of the incisive quality of Mata perhaps, but then who is in the Premiership at the moment?
I said earlier, he's carrying a bit of weight, Anderson, just a little bit of weight. And if you can see that from 50 and 75 yards distance, he needs to lose a bit. I'm sure Sir Alex will tell him, even though that was a warm embrace from the Manchester United manager for a job well done by Anderson. Just been replaced, 9 minutes to go. 9 minutes for Chelsea to find an equaliser. Ramirez looking for Bertrand. Bertrand, oh goodness gracious. He finally controls the ball, not as he wished, because the momentum took him out of the penalty area, but he keeps it in Chelsea's possession. Oscar into Ramirez, and on now to Hazard. He's going to shoot from 35 yards, and that was not the option. It just hit Giggs. Had it been Mata, I would have said yes, but it wasn't. Hazard though, back to Azpilicueta, and on to Sturridge, and it's chested down to Hazard. Hazard runs forward into the penalty area, declines to shoot, looking to lay it off, trying to win a corner there. The ball rebounds to Mata instead, not having crossed the goal line. Into Hazard again. Mata's available. Oh, there's a trip and a foul by Scott Wooden, and it's a free kick.
Yeah, and of course Wooden was already booked.
Yellow carded.
Yeah, he was yellow carded. He's put him down there. It's a genuine tackle, slightly mistimed by the young centre-back. But clever play by Hazard, induced a challenge. I have to say, Bertrand on Chelsea's left, he's been playing more or less as a semi-outside left this last 25 minutes. He's really been rampaging forward down that left-hand side.
That was a brilliant free kick goal from Juan Mata on Sunday. Not quite the same position. This is much more towards his right, but his left foot can dispatch this goalwards. Lindegaard has to be very, very careful here. 7.5 minutes to go. Chelsea 2, Manchester United 3. Mata waits, given the angle, it's about 25 yards. Here he comes, left-footed, oh, just over the crossbar. Lindegaard would have been beaten.
He would have been beaten. Speed of the ball, he drifted the ball over a 4-man wall with his left foot, and the ball came down, but just not quite enough on the angle of the bar and post to the left-hand side of the tall Lindegaard. Lindegaard's had a good second half.
Throw into Chelsea, goes to Mata. Then Mata ran into Powell, and the ball breaks to Giggs. Good ball by Giggs to Hernandez. Hernandez though let it run under his right foot. It's with Luiz, and Luiz needs no encouragement to come over the halfway line. Looking to augment this Chelsea attack, passes the ball to Ramirez. Ramirez to Sturridge, low ball into the penalty area, half cleared, still inside the box though. Sturridge pulls it on, back heel from Hazard. Sturridge shot straight at the goalkeeper Lindegaard.
Brilliant, clever play around the box there by Chelsea. There's so many clever touches, so many players with the perception to find the little angles.
A goal at Norwich. Alistair Bruce ball.
7 minutes to play. Norwich have somehow found an equaliser. The substitute Alex Tettey with a left foot volley. It was going wide. It took a deflection off the Tottenham sub Jan Vertonghen, who lazily stuck a leg out to block it. Norwich are level. Norwich 1, Tottenham 1. As it stands, we're heading to extra time.
That's just to keep him working, you know. He's obviously not doing enough work.
This one could, Alan, this one could still go to extra time.
Yes, it could. It could. We've got 6 minutes to go here. I remember there's a little bit longer than that at Anfield. About 21 minutes left to play. Liverpool 0, Swansea 1. That's on 5 Live Sports Extra. Manchester United have possession. And it's with Keane. Keane then rushes the pass forward straight to Luiz. And Moses takes it up for Chelsea on the far side of the field to Oscar. Oscar with Ramirez to his right and Hazard a little further right. It goes to the Belgian ahead of the centre circle. Mata's in a central position. Hazard looking to the wings though. Looks to Azpilicueta. Now the pass into Mata. Mata to Hazard. Back to Mata. All movement. Accurate passing. But they're 3-2 down here, Chelsea. Here's Oscar with a chance. Onto his right foot. Shoots! Lindegaard pushes it away. With both hands. Ball still inside the penalty area. Then there's a push, I think, by Hazard. And it's going to be a free kick. I'm sure it's a free kick to Manchester United.
Lindegaard did well to get behind that ball because a really fierce shot, there's no question, by Hazard.
Are the holders going out, Connor?
Liverpool 0, Swansea 1. We've still got 20 minutes to play here. Remember, an 8 o'clock kickoff. Chico Flores' goal separates them. Liverpool, though, have hit the post in their efforts for an equaliser. Steven Gerrard's shot bounced back off the woodwork, and Stuart Downing following up, scuffed his shot wide. Liverpool 0, Swansea 1.
Thanks, Connor. Less than 5 minutes to go here on 5 Live. In the main commentary of the night here in Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 2, Manchester United 3. Ball played to the left side by Luiz, but it's behind Sturridge, and it's out of play for a throw into Manchester United.
You can't help thinking that Chelsea without Terry just aren't as firm and as disciplined and as controlled at the back as they are when he doesn't play. They just look a little bit looser. But I have to say, with so many clever attacking players on this field tonight, the second half has been really enjoyable.
And they're not finished yet. Hazard comes forward. Well, he got past one challenge, but he was fairly tackled in the second one.
Giggs
Manchester United the ball.
Splendid tackle by Giggs.
Good work by Welbeck, and then Ramirez powerfully into Welbeck. Referee plays good advantage. Manchester United still in possession, and then it's given up. I think Giggs had stopped expecting the free kick.
I think Tunnicliffe forgot how old Giggs was there. He tried to play a through ball for Ryan Giggs in the last few minutes of this game. I think Giggs really said, look, hang on a minute, I'm getting into my 30s now, I'm way into my 30s, I stand still in the last few minutes, you can do the running.
There may not be extra time at Carrow Road. Alistair Bruce ball.
What a turnaround. Norwich, 2 goals in 2 minutes. They lead Tottenham now by 2 goals to 1. All about the substitutes as well. Free kick floated into the Tottenham box. Powerful header by Grant Holt, palmed away by Hugo Lloris, but only into the 6-yard box, and Simeon Jackson smashes it into the back of the net. Norwich 2, Tottenham 1. We're in the closing stages.
3 minutes to go of the 90 here. Corner to Chelsea. Played back to Oscar. Oscar into the penalty area. And looking for Cahill. It wasn't the best of passes. Cahill was well tackled. And Cahill shot over the crossbar.
Difficult for Cahill to find space there. The penalty area is packed with bodies. Young Wootton has done quite well. The centre-back, he's had a yellow card today, but he's defended heroically in this second half when Chelsea have shown all their clever tricks around the box.
Goal kick to Manchester United, who are heading for the quarter-finals for the 5th successive season, provided they can hold on to this lead. They've got another free kick, a Luiz foul on Hernandez. Needless, really. You know, there are 4 other defenders around him. That just allows United to steady things down, take the time over the free kick. Penalty at Norwich. Alistair Bruce ball.
Well, we could be heading for extra time. Tottenham have a penalty. Some debated about it as well. Kyle Walker's gone down. Norwich felt he went down very easily under the challenge from Mark Tierney. Norwich lead 2-1, but Clint Dempsey has a chance here in the 89th minute to level it. Here he comes, Dempsey. Oh, it's saved by Mark Bunn, and the rebound is slammed over the bar, and it looks like it will be Norwich's night. Norwich still lead, City, Tottenham 2-1, and Clint Dempsey's had his penalty saved.
3 minutes to go of the 90 here. Corner to Chelsea. Played back to Oscar. Oscar into the penalty area. Now the pass inside by Luiz, but it's given up. I think Giggs had stopped expecting the free kick. And a goal at Anfield, Conor McNamara.
And the League Cup holders are in big danger now of going out tonight. Liverpool 0, Swansea 2, a breakaway goal, perhaps inevitable the way Liverpool were pushing everything forward, searching for an equaliser. It was 3-on-1. Swansea could take their choice. It was rolled to Nathan Dyer, and he passed the ball into the empty net. We have got 17 and a half minutes to play. Liverpool 0, Swansea 2.
We've got a minute of the regular 90 to play here at Stamford Bridge, and I just wonder if Chelsea have had their last chance, or is there one more for them to score a third goal that would take this game into extra time. Oscar on the halfway line to Mata, and on now to Moses. Moses has played well tonight. On to Sturridge down the right side, into Mata again on his left foot, shoots, blocked, brilliant block by Tunnicliffe. Ball rebounds to Cahill, into Ramirez, centre of the Manchester United half. Mata again. Mata looking for the movement of Bertrand down the left-hand side. I'll keep an eye out for the fourth official, see how much time will be added on. Hazard now, left edge of the United penalty area. Back to Oscar. Chelsea constantly on the attack. Tap back to Cahill. Oh, Ramirez got in the way. Cahill, though, picks up possession. Plays it wide to the right, and Azpilicueta, who tries to cross it, hits Welbeck, and it's behind for a corner, and here comes the fourth official. You can hold it up now. We've had 45 minutes in the second half. Come on, let us go.
3 minutes.
Mean, I would say. Hazard's corner, 3-2 to Manchester United. Hazard, left-footed, plays it in. Diving header clear by Raphael. Won't reach Hernandez because Bertrand was back first. Bertrand plays it to Cech. Remember that horrible mistake by Cech in the first half. And then another mistake by Luiz. They really gave Manchester United the 2 goals. Hit forward. Luiz is eschewed defending in this added time. He can't keep that ball in play to his liking. It's out for a throw into Manchester United. And Luiz collided with the advertisement hoarding behind the goal and is hobbling away. I think he'd be all right, but not clever. Or is it a goal kick, not a throw-in? That's what it was. He couldn't prevent the ball from going behind for a goal kick.
Chelsea supporters are disappearing in front of us, leaving their seats, obviously lost faith of the opportunities that might come in the last couple of minutes to score again.
Goal kick taken by Lindegaard. Head outfield. Powell can't meet it properly. Knocked back into the Manchester United half, only temporarily. Bertrand heads it forward. Moses heads it infield. Moses says, that's mine. Keeps throwing forward, but he can't find another blue shirt. And Tunnicliffe with the clearance to Hernandez on the far side of the field. Luiz is harshly through the back with a tackle. And now he's going to be yellow carded. That's another good decision by Lee Mason.
United will take their time here with this free kick. Gives them great breathing space.
Yep. Only a minute and 10 seconds of added time remaining at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 2, Manchester United 3. It's 2-1 to Norwich at Carrow Road, and it's 2-0 to Swansea at Liverpool. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff. Hardly time, though, for Liverpool, the holders, to stay in the competition. Manchester United heading for the last 8 again. The draw will be later tonight. After the free kick, Hernandez to Fletcher, into Nani. Good run forward by Tunnicliffe. Nani's far too selfish. Ran into a defender, loses the ball, and Chelsea have one last opportunity maybe. They've got to get it over the halfway line quickly. Oscar, back now to Cahill. Moses is through the middle. Sturridge is through the middle. Cahill wants to pass neatly into Oscar, just to the right of the centre circle. Good ball to the left side, and Mata. Mata, the creator of so much tonight. Can he create one final chance? Crosses into the penalty area, but it's headed away by Manchester United. 10 seconds remaining. All Hernandez has to do is hold up the play.
He was offside, and he should never be caught offside in that position. Chelsea back on the attack.
Free kick played for Chelsea. Hazard running in from the left side. Taps it. Oscar with a shot. Hits a couple of players inside the penalty. The header down. Here's a chance. That looks like a penalty. It is a penalty. Ramirez. What drama. Well, I think Wotton was the guilty party.
I think Ramirez, he was pushed by Wotton. just as he was about to turn and swing at that, and I wonder if Wootton gets a yellow card for that. It's a foul in the box that directly has prevented a goal-scoring chance.
Well,
and he had a yellow card. He's done quite well tonight, but it looks as though he's going to stay on for the extra time period, which is almost certain now, provided, of course,
Hazard scores with a penalty. We've had our 3 minutes of added time. We've had nearly 4 minutes of added time, and Hazard has to score to give us an extra 30 minutes, and he does score. He just rolled the ball into the centre of the net. Lindegaard anticipated by diving to his net, and all those Chelsea fans who had made for the exits are now coming back into their seats and cheering.
Oh, they have little faith. They shouldn't have gone, should they, Alan? We knew there was more goals in this game. We've had 6. Now we've got to get to how many to get to Reading? Extra time for sure, looks like now.
There's a goal at Anfield, Connor.
We've only had a bad game in the League Cup this week, and this one's turning out good as well. Liverpool 1, Swansea 2. Luis Suarez has headed one back for Liverpool, similar to the header he flicked in against Everton on Sunday. It's certainly livened up the comp. It's Liverpool 1, Swansea 2.
And we've got extra time here. The referee has blown his whistle.
Well,
so much for an early night.
Well, if the first half was mundane and the mistakes provided United with 2 goals, then certainly the second half was lively, it was exciting, it was full of good skills, goals as well. A really tremendous second half here.
Chelsea 3, Manchester United 3. We ain't done yet.
Those Arsenal fans reading this morning were saying they left at 4-0 down. Don't leave early. Let's go to Ali Bruce Ball at Carrow Road. No one leaving early there.
No, not quite done yet here either. We're in added time. The initial number that went up on the board was 4 minutes, but then we immediately had a clash of heads between Clint Dempsey and Michael Turner right at the start of that 4 minutes, so I think we've still got a couple of minutes to play. At the moment, somehow, Norwich are going to win this game and go through to the quarter-finals of the League Cup. Morrison's ball into the box is easily claimed by Hugo Lloris, because Norwich tonight really weren't at the races for pretty much the first 80 minutes of the game. Gareth Bale had given Tottenham the lead midway through the second half, and then suddenly from nowhere, Norwich, through their substitutes, found 2 goals in the space of 2 minutes, and there goes the full-time whistle, and Norwich have done it. They've beaten Tottenham out of nowhere, really. 2 goals in the space of 2 minutes late on. The first one of an own goal after Tetty's volley that was going wide struck him and he backheeled it into the net, and then Simeon Jackson smashing home a rebound, and we still had time for Clint Dempsey to see his penalty saved by Mark Bunn, who also made a really important save in added time from Michael Dawson. So, Dean Ashton, former Norwich striker, not a really impressive Norwich performance, but somehow they've won it and they're through to the quarter-finals.
No, probably one of the worst performances they'll put in this season, especially the first 80 minutes. You know, if we skip to the last 10 minutes, it was one of the best games to watch, and in the end Tottenham will feel a bit aggrieved to not have won the game, but Norwich will feel fantastic going into the next match.
In terms of the penalty saved by Mark Bunn as well, not a great penalty by Clint Dempsey, but there was some debate about whether it should have been a penalty anyway, so potentially justice has been done in a funny sort of way.
Yeah, I don't think there was much contact, if any, on Walker, so perhaps there was justice done, and it was a poor penalty, and credit to Norwich, they didn't deserve it, but they've somehow got the win.
Norwich through, they've beaten Tottenham with 2 late goals. Norwich 2, Tottenham 1, Norwich into the last 8.
Dean, did Tottenham get a little bit complacent because there was so little attacking threat from Norwich up till the 80th minute mark?
Possibly. It was just so easy for them. They were keeping the ball for 80 minutes, looking like Bale would unlock the door, and then suddenly Norwich make a few changes, throw the ball in long, get a few free kicks and corners, and they looked dangerous from them, and suddenly it was 2-1. It was probably the only game they'll play all season where they, without a shadow of a doubt, didn't deserve to get anything and come away with a win.
So Norwich through. We have 6 of the 8 teams in the quarter-final draw, which is coming next. It's still Liverpool 1, Swansea 2. 8 o'clock kick-off there. It's live on Sports Extra. Extra time about to start here at Stamford Bridge, but no extra time needed at Ibrox, Roddy Forsyth.
No, certainly not. The Rangers fans wanted put out of their misery after the Shinnie brothers, Graham and Andrew, along with Gary Warren, made Inverness, Cally Thistle, men you could book straight into the semi-final draw that occurs tomorrow. The Rangers were jeered off the field. It could have been worse too. knew if Billy Mackay had taken his 2 1-on-1 chances, it would have been a real dull one for Rangers. As it is, Rangers 0, Cali Thistle 3.
And so to Anfield, Conor McNamara.
And it is still Liverpool 1, Swansea 2. Chico Flores and Nathan Dyer put Swansea 2 up, but Luis Suarez has headed one back for Liverpool. We have 8 minutes to go. It set up a grandstand finish for the reigning cup holders. Liverpool 1, Swansea 2.
The quarter-final draw to come later this evening. We've seen an absolutely magnificent game here, David Pleat. Particularly that second half was it was schoolboy football, wasn't it? In the sense it was end-to-end stuff.
And yes, both teams going for the win. You know, United never shut up shop. 3-2 up in the last 20 minutes or so. I can remember the young Tunnicliffe, the sub, running into the box just prior to Chelsea attacking, which led to the penalty. Probably some people will say naivety. I would say that they play football in the right spirit. They go for glory. And Chelsea too, some of the attacking play, particularly the skills of Mata and Hazard and the support from midfield was really terrific. We saw lots of goalmouth action in the second half. In the first half, very little. The second half was a delight.
Chelsea on the attack at the start of the first period of extra time. The ball played by Mata to the left side. But the first misplaced pass he's hit all evening. Manchester United hit it upfield. Cahill meets it before Hernandez. Back it goes to Luiz. What is Luiz doing? Feeding the ball back into his penalty area. Check with a less than convincing clearance as well. But they get it clear. Oscar. So many attacking players on the pitch now for Chelsea. Oscar looking for the run of Hazard down the inside right channel. And goodness, Michael Keane was pulling at the Belgian right in front of the assistant, who didn't flag. Ball's out of play, throw into Manchester United. Reminding you that Norwich have put Tottenham out. 2-1 victory at Carrow Road. 2 late goals for the home side. And there are about 7 minutes left of normal time at Anfield. Liverpool 1, Swansea 2. Here at Stamford Bridge. Surprise, surprise, the scores are level, which is why we've got extra time. Mata, back to Ramirez. On to Hazard on the far side of the field. I thought Hazard had done brilliantly initially to collect possession, but he gave it away, and then United gave it away. Sturridge on the far side of the field. Azpilicueta nearby. Sturridge onto his left foot. Slides the pass in simply. 10 yards to Mata. Mata, the best player on the pitch. Mata to Moses. Moses shot. Blocked by Fletcher. And here come Manchester United. Welbeck gets the ball forward. I think he was fouled there, but the ball bounces away from Hernandez, out of play for a throw into Chelsea, which Luiz takes. Back to Cahill. Stats, I love them. Thanks, Phil. Both teams have scored 18 goals in the last 6 games now. Are there more to come? Sturridge comes forward into the penalty area. The goalkeeper, Lindegaard, knew he wasn't getting there, but Sturridge selfishly shoots from a ridiculous angle, and Lindegaard makes an easy save.
Yes, absolutely. He wants a real critical admonishment by his manager for that. I mean, he should never have looked to... He got there first behind Lindegaard. Lindegaard was out of his goal. No chance if he would have squared it across Sturridge. And I have to say, Sturridge has been a little bit disappointing as a centre-back. He's played as a centre-forward. He's played against the 2 young centre-backs, Wootton and Keane, and he hasn't done well enough, in my view, to warrant what he's been continually saying, that he wants to play up front and he would like directly to take the place of Torres and be given a chance of a run in the Chelsea side. Hasn't quite done enough tonight to justify that wish.
Tunnicliffe couldn't collect Giggs' pass, but Manchester United win it back. Raphael forward into the penalty area, shoots straight at the goalkeeper chest.
Well, the goalkeeper's been busy in the second part of this game, that's for sure. Raphael then went forward well, but no real conviction in the shot.
Moses to Hazard, sprinting down the left side, the Belgian checks onto his right foot into the penalty area now, still going forward. Hazard pulls it back. This could be a winning goal for Chelsea. Oh no, Sturridge dilly-dallies on the ball. When he shoots, finally it's blocked by a defender and it squirts through to Lindegaard.
That must have been a close decision. Hazard worked some brilliance on that left-hand side, went into the box, weaved his way past defenders. I thought he possibly had run the ball off over the byline. Somehow squeezed the ball back. Sturridge looked a certainty to score, but as is his form tonight, just couldn't quite manoeuvre that ball to get his shot in on goal.
Oscar for Chelsea to Luiz, and Luiz sweeps it away to the far side, and Azpilicueta into Ramirez once more. Probably the only defensive midfield player in that Chelsea lineup, that revised Chelsea lineup.
Better than Warhorse, isn't it, Alan? Well,
no, nothing beats Warhorse.
Okay, sorry.
Trust me.
Sorry, Alan.
They wouldn't know what we're talking about, you know. It's like, go and see the stage show, folks. It's fantastic. They'll certainly have you crying at the end.
Macheda's on, I think, stripping off there. Maybe give them a little bit of front power. He's become a lost soul, I think, at Old Trafford in recent months. We've seen very little of him, heard very little of him.
Well, he's way down the pecking order, isn't he? And not surprisingly, you got Van Persie and Rooney and Welbeck and Hernandez. Here's Oscar for Chelsea. 3-3 here at Stamford Bridge. 5 minutes of the first period of extra time already played. Moses, a few yards outside the penalty area, to Oscar, to Azpilicueta, the right fullback, crossed into the penalty area, firm header clear by the United defender, collected by Ramirez. Azpilicueta once more, into Sturridge. Sturridge finds Moses. Moses tried to return the favour for the pass, got it wrong, and Lindegaard has it.
What a great experience for the younger players in the Old Trafford team tonight. People like Wootton, people like Keane, certainly Tunnicliffe playing, who came on towards the end of the second half, Powell, who started the second half, the 4 younger players playing with the more experienced players, the ones like Giggs and Nani, those players who can help them so much, Fletcher. I think it's a really wonderful combination of players, really, that Alex Ferguson has put out here tonight. They've just got to be careful now, because I just feel the experience and the subtlety and the cleverness of Chelsea, will go on to win this game if United expose themselves too much and come too easily out of defensive positions.
Oscar heading a long ball towards Sturridge, carefully headed down by Michael Keane, the central defender for United. He finds the captain tonight, Giggs. Chelsea 3, Manchester United 3. Time almost up at Anfield. Swansea leading Liverpool by 2-1. Norwich have already beaten Spurs 2-1. And Rangers humiliated at Ibrox by Inverness Caledonian Thistle out of the Scottish League Cup. Who'll emerge from this one? 3-3. The ball is with Powell. Powell plays it to Hernandez. Hernandez turns in the penalty area. His shot was blocked, and it's rebounding away to the far side. Nani must keep it in play. Does keep it in play. Welbeck available. In the near post towards Welbeck. Intercepted by Chelsea and should be cleared.
Look, rather tired touch there by Nani on the left-hand side.
Well, maybe he'd be the one that makes way for Makeda. We'll see. Oh, there's a mistake. Here's Sturridge into the penalty area. Sturridge will score. Sturridge wins the 4-3 for Chelsea. Mistake in the United defence, and this time Sturridge took full advantage. That's Wootton.
Yes, it's Wootton made the mistake.
Oh, well. Actually, I've got to say, there have been some bad defensive errors.
It was a long ball. The 2 centre-backs were badly split. The full-backs had gone forward. Neither Fletcher or Raphael were there to be seen. Sturridge took it on, went to the left of Lindegaard and slid it with his left foot beyond him and into the post. Wootton tried to get back onto the line to retrieve his mistake, but for once, Sturridge was accurate, effective and incisive. 4-3.
Now Makeda has come on. I didn't see who went off because all the Chelsea fans are standing up in front of me, so I'll have to just look around and see who's still on the pitch. This is the first time that Chelsea have been in front tonight. It's been quite a game. Well, Welbeck who's left. Thank you very much.
United will push and push forward now, and obviously they'll be vulnerable to a further goal by Chelsea.
Giggs, that's a good pass to the left side though for Raphael. Raphael up from left back. Look at him, he's just a few yards into the corner flag in the Chelsea half. On the attack, Manchester United. Can Nani get the cross in? No, he can't, but they've got to throw in on the far side. Oh, there's an incident involving Oscar and Nani. And Oscar certainly kicked out at Nani. I didn't see what preceded it. The referee, Lee Mason, is across there. If he's seen the kick by Oscar,
there'll be 2 players short. You'll have to give them reds.
Oh. Well, we were hoping for a quiet evening. We were hoping for a great game. Other than that, we wanted a quiet evening.
He's going to get yellow out, huh?
He's got yellow out. Well, I didn't see what Nani did, but Oscar certainly kicked out at Nani. Right, Lee Mason lecturing them. It'll be hot lecture. Checks in there, but Nani and Oscar Are they going to get away with yellow cards here?
Well, the players are telling Mason what to do. Mason should know what to do, and I'm sure he does know what to do. But that's the problem with the players, you see. The players go and try and bully the referee. When the referee's in full command of this situation, he stood away from the fracas. Then he saw the two players that started it. He pulled them together, and he's given them both a yellow. Was he in a kindly mood when you met him this morning, Alan?
Yes, he was. Anybody says good morning to me, he must be kindly.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there was a tangle, and there was a foot in by Oscar, no doubt. Then, for no reason at all, the Spanish right back, Azpilicueta, gets involved.
Fortunate.
Only 2 yellow cards.
4-3 to Chelsea. Time almost up at Anfield. Swansea about to knock out the holders Liverpool. Update from Connor.
Yes, Liverpool 1, Swansea 2. We've played the 90 minutes. There will be 5 minutes added on for stoppages. Luis Suarez has had several chances in this second half. He's taken one of them with a header, but he's missed quite a few others. Raheem Sterling's also had a low shot. Here is Suarez in the penalty area, strongly tackled by Ashley Williams, and Swansea clear it away. Liverpool 1, Swansea 2, stoppage time.
Keane plays the ball to Paul. Taken up now by Makeda. Makeda running to the right of the penalty area. Gets the cross in, hits a defender. Luiz manages to knock it clear. He seems to have picked up a knock, David Luiz. Chelsea forward with Mata. Good interception by Michael Keane.
I think he's been excellent, you know, of the 2 centre-backs. I mean, they've both done quite well.
Oscar to Sturridge. Sturridge is onside. Sturridge couldn't bring the ball down properly off his chest, but now he has it under control. Finds Mata, 25-yard side. Mata running forward. Fell over. Wasn't a foul by Ryan Giggs. 4 minutes to go in the first period of extra time.
The middle of the field completely vacant at times. One team goes forward, the other team wins the ball, then they hit the ball into the other half. It's just a real ebb and flow.
Tunnicliffe plays the ball to the left side into Nani. He's being booed. Nani into Makeda, into the penalty area, the Chelsea penalty area. Makeda can't get the ball out from under his feet, and then he fouls Cahill, and it's going to be a free kick to Chelsea. 4-3 to Chelsea. The scores went as follows. United 1 up, then it's 1-1, then United were 2-1 up, then it was 2-2, then they were 3-2 up, and finally in stoppage time at the end of the 90 minutes, Hazard equalised for Chelsea for the 3rd time, and now they're in front for the first time. Free goal at Liverpool, Connor.
Fire alarm at Anfield as the spectators make their way towards the exits, because it's Liverpool 1, Swansea 3, a breakaway goal, just like Swansea's second, this time scored by Jonathan de Guzman. Liverpool pushing everything forward, trying to get an equaliser. They've conceded a 3rd. There's no coming back from this. Liverpool, the League Cup holders, are on their way out. Liverpool 1, Swansea 3.
So, Norwich are through tonight. It looks as if Swansea are certainly through as well, joining Arsenal, Aston Villa, Leeds, Middlesbrough and Bradford City in the draw. Chelsea lead Manchester United 4-3. 3 minutes to go in the first period of extra time. Ball played in, Cahill with a header wide.
Would have been Cahill's second of the night. He scored a fine header from a corner, which put Chelsea on terms at the start of the second half.
Look at Cahill sprinting back into defence to make sure, you know, he knows what his primary role is. It's with Lindegaard, the Manchester United goalkeeper. And now King, the defender, on to Fletcher. Fletcher taps it into Giggs. Giggs won't have given up the United cause. That's a good ball forward to Hernandez. Hernandez sweeps it to the left to Nani. Makeda holding back, edge of the penalty area. Nani, has he got his blinkers off? Into the penalty area, can't get past Azpilicueta, and it's cleared by the Spanish fullback up towards the halfway line.
Terrific defending there by Azpilicueta. Terrific defending.
Here's Wooten, perhaps fortunate to still be on the pitch. Remember, he was yellow carded earlier in the game, and then he fouled Ramirez, denying him a goal-scoring opportunity without question. It was a penalty kick, but the referee decided a penalty was enough punishment. Manchester United attack, cross driven in far too deep by Raphael. One bounce and it's behind for a goal kick. At Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, Swansea 3. Deep in added time there. In regular time, Norwich, it's 3-1 Swansea after full-time score, so Liverpool, the holders, are out of the Capital One Cup. Norwich beat Tottenham by 2-1. Spurs led for a long time there at Carrow Road. 2 late goals for Norwich. 4-3 here at Stamford Bridge in this silly week for goals in the Capital One Cup. Mata on towards Sturridge. Oh, King brings him down. Is this a red card for the young defender? It's a yellow card. Very, very soft.
Well, it would have been a great shame. Both young centre-halves now have been yellow carded. Both could have been sent off, no question about that. It was a clever little spin, there's no doubt. He just wrestled him to the ground. Sturridge just completely beat him with his spin. A lovely little ball by Mata, and there's no question about it. I think in that particular case, the referee has been kind. I think he should have gone off.
Yeah, Chelsea finished with 9 men on Sunday, and so easily Manchester United might be finishing with 9 men here. As it is, there's a free kick to Chelsea. It's about 3 or 4 yards outside the D of the United penalty area. Hazard is there, but so too is Luiz, and you fancy the Brazilian to have a smack at this. Lee Mason
already scored a penalty, of course.
Lee Mason very, very lenient with Wooten and King. Anyway, here comes Luiz. Luiz shoots! Oh, hits the underside of the crossbar, rebounds, hits the goalkeeper, Lindegaard, and United just about escape conceding a 5th goal.
What a shot. Absolute rocket from Luiz. Hits through the top of the ball, and it absolutely veers past Lindegaard onto that underside of the bar. It hits him as it comes down, and somehow they get it away. Warmly applauding the crowd. Chelsea's first period of the extra time. They've been on top, they've got a crucial goal, and now they've got 15 minutes to see out this victory.
Yeah, half-time and extra time, Chelsea lead United 4-3.
The new sponsors are loving the last 2 nights, Alan. Been absolutely sensational, this Capital One Cup football. Norwich came from behind to beat Tottenham 2-1 tonight. Swansea have knocked the holders out, Liverpool 3-1. Chelsea have equalised 3 times here, now lead 4-3. And we'll go to the newsroom and catch our breath. Here's Faye Roscoe.
Backbench Rebel Conservatives have defeated the government in a vote on Europe. 53 Tories joined Labour to vote in favour of a real terms cut in the EU budget. The Shadow Chancellor Ed Balls says Parliament has spoken for the country. Chelsea have lodged a formal complaint with the FA over allegations of inappropriate language used by referee Mark Clattenburg during Sunday's match against Manchester United. The club said it was acting after a thorough investigation. President Obama has visited some of the areas in the state of New Jersey devastated by Superstorm Sandy. He's promised the White House will do all it can to help with the recovery. And 2 British soldiers shot dead in Helmand province by a man dressed in an Afghan police uniform yesterday have been named. Lieutenant Edward Drummond Baxter and Lance Corporal Siddhanta Kunwar were members of 1st Battalion at the Royal Gurkha Rifles.
In Scotland tonight, Rangers 0, Inverness 3 in the quarter-finals. Dundee United 1, Hearts 1. Hearts won 5-4 on penalties. So the draw to come for the quarter-finals, we have Arsenal, Aston Villa, Bradford, Middlesbrough, Leeds, Norwich, Swansea and Chelsea or Manchester United. Is there yet another twist? Here's Alan.
Why not? Why not? It's been rich in entertainment value, to say the least. I think surpassing Sunday's game. And we've also had, a little bit of controversy. Anyway, we've still got a full complement of players on both sides, when United could quite easily be down to 9 men, as Chelsea were on Sunday in the Barclays Premier League game. United trail 4-3. They'll attack in the remaining 15 minutes without question. All the play I would expect to see in the Chelsea half, apart from Chelsea counter-attacking. Everybody bar Lindegaard is inside the Chelsea half at the moment. The ball is with Nani, down the United left. In now to Powell. Powell tackled. Foul tackle by Ramirez. According to Lee Mason, he's only a couple of yards away, so it's a free kick to Manchester United.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been happy with that decision. I think Powell got caught there in possession. Ramirez was a little bit stronger, and United got the benefit of the free kick.
And they were poised for the counter-attack, Chelsea, as well. Giggs is going to swing the free kick in. 14 minutes of extra time remaining. Giggs from the left, plays it in left-footed. Good header away by Cahill. Out of play on the far side of the field for a United throw-in.
He's taken on Terry's mantle, hasn't he, Cahill?
Had a good game. Throw-in is taken to young Tunnicliffe. Tunnicliffe holds off the challenge from Mata. Plays it back. Wooden knocks it forward. Powell to Tunnicliffe again. Left for Fletcher. Fletcher can't get the pass squeezed in properly. Can Chelsea counter-attack quickly here? Oscar to Ramirez. Ramirez dances away from Giggs. Plays into Sturridge. Great run forward by Moses. The ball played into the path of the former Wigan player. Moses now juggling with it, right edge of the penalty area. Got past a sort of limp challenge from Giggs. Sturridge takes it up. Sturridge just over the crossbar. I thought that was 5-3.
Oh, quick feet there by Sturridge. Twisted and turned. Moses did well too to get the ball back. There was a little bit of a tired clearance there by Giggs, not surprisingly. And then some clever little footwork there by Sturridge, and he really whacked that ball fiercely just over the bar.
13 minutes of extra time remaining. Chelsea 4, Manchester United 3. Nani for United. Hooks the ball forward. Luiz heads it away. Mata stabs it back to Azpilicueta, the right fullback, the Spanish right fullback for Chelsea. And he drives it in the direction of Sturridge. Sturridge back to Moses. Moses on the halfway line. Hustled out of it by Raphael. Giggs into Tunnicliffe in the centre circle. Fletcher's hanging back for the moment. But Manchester United still have the ball. Powell to Giggs. Giggs wafts it in the direction of Makeda. Headed clear by Luiz. Headed back in there by Powell. Ramirez clears for Chelsea now. High over the halfway line. The defender's got to be careful here. Wooden heads it back. The header's a little short, but Lindegaard quickly off his line to gather it.
I think Cahill will have to tie Luiz by his side in this last 15 minutes. He doesn't want Luiz to go raiding again from centre-back. They must keep firm and keep a grip on Hernandez there.
3 minutes of the second period of extra time already played. Still 4-3 to Chelsea. The first time in the night that they've been in front. They've had to pull back United 3 times. Finally emerged in front after an error in the United defence, and Sturridge capitalised. Here's Oscar. Arguably lucky to stay on the pitch. I forgot about Oscar and Nani, of course. Talking about players that might have been sent off.
Well, I think that was only the really heated moment of the evening, the only real drama that Mr. Mason had to deal with. And to be fair to him, although I thought there may have been reds, he did diffuse the situation pretty quickly.
Here's Tunnicliffe. Tunnicliffe looking towards the left side, loses the ball to Ramirez. Oscar takes it up. Sturridge ahead of him. Oscar's pass not great, but Sturridge robs the defender. Wooden. And now Sturridge approaching the United penalty area, tries to curl the shot in left-footed, got it wrong.
Hero and villain, isn't he, Sturridge, with this crowd? Scored that vital 4th goal. Just had a terrific little bit of play where he came inside and whistled the ball over the bar, and then he tries to curve one, and it's very wild, and the crowd show their disenchantment with him.
Manchester United attacking the old shed end of Stamford Bridge in the remaining 11 minutes of extra time, behind which their fans are gathered, all 6,000 of them. For most of the night they thought their team was going to go through to the quarter-finals. Now they're heading for the exit door. Ball's behind though for a corner to United.
5,000 United supporters behind that goal there to our left, the shed end.
10 minutes of extra time remaining. Nani to take the corner. Check no more than 6 inches ahead of his goal line. Here it comes, right-footed, in-swinging corner, and then it was headed away by Chelsea. Moses, a little slowly, hooks the ball up and over the halfway line to complete the clearance. Lindegaard meets it outside his penalty area. On to Tunnicliffe. How many red shirts? 7 of them inside the Chelsea half at the moment. One of them is Giggs. Giggs, good ball forward to Raphael, who'd come up for that corner, but it's cleared by Cahill. Out of play for a throw-in on the near side of the field. Counting down the time. Less than 10 minutes to go here. Raphael to take the throw-in. Raphael was the most experienced member of that Manchester United defence when the game started. Young Raphael. Here's King striding forward, finding Hernandez. Hernandez slips it to the right side to Powell. Powell on his left foot crosses into the penalty. Oh, and right foot shot by Tunnicliffe on the volley. Not quite the technique required, and it's high and behind.
Yeah, not an easy shot to take. It was a left-footed cross from the wide right and just slightly behind Tunnicliffe, and his attempt at a full volley went over the bar.
Check slowing down before he takes this goal kick. Finally, they're perhaps thinking about defending the lead that they finally got in the game. Moses, though, does well, finding Sturridge. Sturridge back to Moses, onside. This could be 5-3. Oh, Oh, the shot blocked by the legs of the goalkeeper, Lindegaard, and hooked away to safety by Manchester United. Giggs still has the ball back now in his penalty area. Lindegaard catches it. It should have been 5-3.
I think it's fair to say that Chelsea have missed more chances than United tonight. There's no question about that. They should have put the game to bed in the second half when they had a lot of the play.
Lindegaard hoofs it upfield, headed down by the excellent Cahill. But here's Tunnicliffe to Nani, operating down the left side. He loses the ball to Oscar. Oscar holding off Nani as well. And then Nani falls down. It's a free kick. Just helps Chelsea. Inside the final 8 minutes of the game, you're listening to 5 Live in the BBC. Extended coverage of this 7:45 kick-off at Stamford Bridge, which required extra time, during which Chelsea took the lead for the first time.
Do you think Mata's been quiet for 2 minutes, Alan?
I think he's just outstanding. Every time I see him. Sturridge in now to Moses. Moses 25 yards out on to Hazard, who took his eye off the ball, probably watching the defender Fletcher, and as a result the ball ran under his left foot and out of play for a throw-in to Manchester United, which is taken. Those two young central defenders look very tired out there, very leggy. That's Wooten and Keane for Manchester United. This is King finding Fletcher into Giggs. I'd keep it away from those central defenders, or else they'll give it away. They've given it away. Here's Ramirez. Ramirez onto Button on the far side of the field. The ball squirts out of play off Powell, and it'll be a throw into Chelsea, who are running down the time quite well now and still creating chances.
Macheda's made very little impact, hasn't he, in helping Hernandez up the front. It's been difficult, though, as United have got tired.
Well, for a young player like him, you know, he must feel like yesterday's man now, you know.
Possibly, and of course he hasn't had the strength in midfield which they had earlier in the game with Anderson, Fletcher and Giggs, which they had earlier in the game. They've lost their shape, of course, with the changes that they made at the moment. Young Powell and Tunnicliffe playing in midfield with the veteran Ryan Giggs, and it's not easy.
Lovely touch by Sturridge to Moses, and then Moses trying to feed the ball through to Mata, got it wrong. United pick up possession. Now they've got a free kick and a foul by Ramirez, and he's going to be booked.
Yeah, once again Ramirez on Powell that time. Powell trying to surge through on the left-hand side.
6 minutes left for play.
Both centre-halves going up, just Tunnicliffe and Fletcher sitting back, vulnerable now to a further Chelsea break. But United have to try and force a goal.
That hurt Powell. He's taking a while to get back on his feet. All the substitutions have been made. It's 4-3 to Chelsea. Earlier, wins for Norwich and for Swansea. Quarter-final draw imminent. Here's Giggs with a free kick for Manchester United. Swirls in. It was a great free kick, and it glanced off a Chelsea head behind for a corner.
Brilliant free kick. Some of the passes that Giggs has made tonight has been absolutely spot on.
If we could have a quarterback in football, you know, Giggs would be perfect for that role. Just bring him on for that kind of thing. Fantastic free kick, and he's going to take this corner now. Less than 5 minutes of extra time remaining. Ball played in to the edge of the 6-yard box. Defended well by Chelsea. Hazard on the counter-attack. Sturridge and Moses sprint forward over the halfway line. It's 3 against 3. Hazard runs behind Moses. Hazard still running. He's made 50 yards. Into the D, into Ramirez. This is 5-3. Ramirez going to score. He does score. And Chelsea are into the quarter-final of the Capital One Cup.
Well, they've turned the game around. Not surprisingly, the more experienced players, the substitutions that Di Matteo was able to make, the youth of United finally exposed, the 4 younger players on the field, the 2 centre-backs who've got nothing to be ashamed of tonight, both been yellow-carded, but they can take a lot from this game. It was a terrific, clever run by Hazard, absolutely on the plate for Ramirez. All they had to do was sell the dummy to Lindegaard and roll the ball in the net. Brilliant play by the Belgium, absolutely fantastic. Dummying, swerving, swivelling.
I don't know if Abramovich is here tonight, you know, but this is the kind of, he is here, I'm told. This is the kind of football that he wants Chelsea to play. Well, it's enterprising football.
It is enterprising football, but I have to say both sides have contributed tonight
to a great game.
I felt the first half was mundane. I thought there was too much midfield play. The goalkeepers weren't tested enough, but both managers at half-time had words to say, and all of a sudden the game increased the tempo and almost exploded towards the end of that second half. We've seen some fine play and, believe it or not, 8 goals.
I'm still disappointed. Alistair Bruce Ball had 12 last night. What's 8 in a match?
Don't be too greedy,
Nanny shot over the crossbar, and just thinking of those Chelsea fans, the ones that weren't called back by the hazard penalty kick equaliser and something, that managed to get back to their seats for extra time. Yeah. The ones who were heading to the tube station or heading to their cars left before the end.
Yeah, well, there were people leaving 3-2 to United with a minute to go when they got a penalty when Ramirez was pulled down. That was crucial. That equaliser lifted Chelsea for the extra time. It looked with a couple of minutes to go that it was going to be United's game at 3-2. The penalty hauled them back, and for sure I've said all that we said to each other at half time.
Tunnicliffe caught in possession. Moses plays it into Sturridge in the penalty area. No angle for the shot. Has to play it wide again. Chelsea still have the ball though. Mata to Moses, who's caught there. And Giggs was faulty, and Giggs is going to be yellow carded. I just had to stand up to make sure it was Giggs and not one of the other United defenders who'd been yellow carded earlier, because that would have been a sending off.
Yeah, caught him on his left calf. It came through him from behind. Ryan Giggs. He's done terrifically well for his age tonight. It's not easy to play 120 minutes in this kind of atmosphere and against the quality of players, the way Chelsea move the ball around.
Here's Mata to Oscar, and Makeda's looking aggressive, and I hope nobody is sent off here in the remaining 2 minutes. Chelsea were tempted to tease Manchester United in the last minute or so. They lead by 5 goals to 3. Makeda hacked it, Louise. I told you Makeda's running around there like somebody who wants to exact retribution. Thankfully it's nowhere near the young Italian now. The ball's played down the left side. The flag's up for offside. It's a free kick to Manchester United, and we've got a fraction over a minute of the second period of extra time remaining. Earlier finished Norwich 2, Tottenham 1, Liverpool 1, Swansea 3. United on the attack. Hernandez goes down. It's a penalty kick. I don't believe this. It's a penalty kick.
The third penalty of the evening. It was a push.
And also a handball in the end. But there was a push on Hernandez. Giggs is going to take the penalty. We're in the last minute of extra time.
It was your friend, the right back, Azpilicueta, the Spanish. Can Giggs score the third penalty of the evening?
Well, he's taking a long run. If you haven't got time for that, Ryan, you've just got to dispatch it and hope there's still time to score a 5th goal. It is 5-4. Chelsea 5, Manchester United 4. No, I can't get another 3 goals. No, there ain't the time.
Do you want some more paper, Alan?
No, I tell you what, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to write a match report in 35 seconds. And, you know, maybe I should ring Alistair Bruce Ball and ask what he did last night. I think the referee will blow his whistle quite quickly and end it. We've had 2 minutes. Oh no, we're going to have 2 minutes of added time. That is certainly enough for a Manchester United equaliser. It's 5-4. Michael Keane didn't know much about that ball as it hit him on the back. Finding Tunnicliffe. Onto the far side, and Powell tackle, ball breaks out of play, throw into Manchester United. Might have been a foul throw there by young Powell. But it's in play for United with Fletcher to Giggs. And Giggs, that's a glorious ball to the left side to Raphael, who takes it on his chest, moving in field. Tackled by Ramirez, and it actually came out off Raphael, so it's a throw in to Chelsea.
Well, this will be some tired players.
Just tired commentary team.
Thursday to recover. League matches at the weekend, of course, of great significance. Many teams haven't treated this competition.
Manchester United play Arsenal in the lunchtime kickoff on Saturday. Most of these players, of course, won't be playing. In fact, looking around, I can't think of any of the Manchester United players on the pitch apart from Raphael, who will be playing against Arsenal on Saturday. Oh, Cahill went up high with his arm there. Balls out of play, thrown to Manchester United. They've still got 40 seconds of added time remaining at the end of extra time. One last cross maybe from Giggs. No, it's a pass instead to Fletcher. Fletcher's inside the centre circle. Both central defenders up in the penalty. Makeda jumps, headed clear by Cahill. Knocked back by Sturridge to Moses. And on another Chelsea counter-attack here. Mata. Hazard running forward. So too is Ramirez. It's with Hazard. Hazard just outside the penalty area. Shoots low, hits the post. Silly game.
Sit down.
Well, I had to stand up because everybody's standing up in front.
I meant Tim, I didn't mean you. I wouldn't talk to you like that.
There's the final whistle. What a game.
What a game. Wonderful second half. Both teams can take some pride from the way they played. The crowd will be delighted. Even some of the United supporters will take great heart from the performance of their younger players. Sir Alex did play a younger side tonight. I thought in the end it was the extra skill of outstanding international players, particularly in the creative midfield area, that took over the game for Chelsea. They were slightly fortunate to get that last penalty, which levelled it at 3-3, but in extra time they were clearly the stronger side and probably in the end slightly the more skillful side. But fascinating game, and no one was sold short here tonight, that is for sure.
It's been another dreadful night in the Capital One Cup. It's finished finally at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 5, Manchester United 4.
And finally they can have the draw for the quarter-final. Chelsea, Swansea, who've knocked out the holders, Liverpool 3-1 this evening. Norwich, who scored 2 late goals to beat Tottenham 2-1. And last night's winners, Leeds, Middlesbrough, Bradford, Aston Villa and Arsenal. Craig says with Tottenham, Liverpool and Manchester United going out, the cup's wide open, very exciting. A Liverpool fan unhappy, says Liverpool are shocking. I'm not fully happy that Rodgers knows what he's doing. Big changes required in January. We need to make a serious push and fast. And Jake and Tottenham boys heading home from Carrow Road, blaming Daniel Levy for Tottenham's exit, saying playing silly games and leaving us with a far weaker squad than we started the summer with. He never learns. When we're done in 13 minutes time, Tony Livesey is here with reaction to the backbench Tory rebellion on the EU this evening. And as government ministers row over wind farms, he'll be asking if they're a blot on the landscape or the future of British energy production. And it's Halloween, so Tony will also have some spooky goings on after midnight. Well, you wanted 7-5. I think 5-4 was getting reasonably close to it, David Pleat. Oh, he's packed up.
He's got his headphones off.
He wasn't. Sorry, David.
Again. It's all right.
I was saying you wanted 7-5. 5-4 got pretty close to it.
We enjoyed it. We thoroughly enjoyed it. End to end, lots of goals, lots of clever play, lots of good attacking play. Neither side at any stage of the game decided to put up shop, and that was great.
What about Daniel Sturridge? What did he scored a vital goal. What did he actually do
he's
to convince you or
otherwise? He's an enigma. There's no question about that. He tends to turn all the time towards one side. He's got this lovely left foot, a twinkling left foot, but sometimes he doesn't appreciate other players like he should. He doesn't play the ball away early enough. Will he score enough goals? I'm not sure. He thinks he's a centre forward, not a wide player. He has to come to terms with the needs of the team. I thought he did brilliantly well towards the end when he spun against a young centre half. I just think he's got a lot to learn, and I don't know whether he listens hard enough. I hope he does.
He thinks he's a centre forward, not a wide player. There's a bit of a theme here with London clubs, isn't there, after last night?
Oh, yes, you're talking about young Walcott. Yes, of course. Well, I have to say that Walcott, when Walcott gets through down the middle, he doesn't try and be too clever with his footwork. He is very expedient with the way he gets his shots away. He took the first goal last night, the one that put Arsenal back in the game, the first goal. Just before half-time to give him a slightest of lifts, Arsenal. I thought he took that beautiful Thierry Henry style.
We're just reading something that David Ornstein's written on the BBC Sport website, which says that Walcott is reluctant to discuss a new deal unless he regains a regular starting spot. Well, with Gervinho injured, you would think that probably he's got a chance of a regular starting spot now, hasn't he?
Well, it's possibly. I mean, Arsenal has spent money on a Shamak, who is faltering, of course. Giroud, who he'd love to give a longer chance to. I think Podolski could play down the middle as well as wide on the left. So, he has alternatives there. But in Arsenal, I trust, and I'm sure that in the end he will do the best for Walcott and the best, more importantly, for the club.
David, if you wouldn't mind just hang on with us a couple of minutes, we'll have the draw soon as well. Let's have a word with Dean Carley, the West Brom goalkeeping coach.